The 2019 Perfect Game All-American Classic is brought to you by New Balance. New Balance Baseball, proud partner of the Perfect Game All-American Classic. By G-Form, baseball guards so comfortable you'll forget they're even there. Stay in the zone and make your moment in G-Form baseball guards. G-Form, made for the moment. And by BSN Sports Baseball.
Perfect Game was awesome. They put on great events all the time. The Athlete Game at the time was probably the highlight of my career.
The coolest thing was always being with your teammates.
Before anybody was anything in the big leagues, you're all just chasing this dream, wanting to get drafted or go to school. I think that's the coolest part.
So many players from around Northern California, and how many of those players ended up playing in college, and I played against them, a lot of them in college. And then even beyond that in professional baseball and even in the big leagues.
Well, what a great set of insightful sound bites that. We were fortunate with the Perfect Game media team, and thanks to Rawlings, those are all Rawlings athletes, and spending time with them talking about their great Rawlings equipment, they remembered their journey through Perfect Game. Honorary Chairperson Trevor Hoffman. Each year he has been the host of this event, and of course there's nothing that says San Diego baseball more than his career here, and he's going to get out and catch that first pitch. He's going to bring a young partner with him, and he has been such a face, as we mentioned going to break, of Rady Children's Hospital. Not just baseball in San Diego, but the efforts at Rady Children's Hospital. And that's our young cancer patient. All the athletes got a chance to see that young future Boston Red Sox legend. We'll hear her thoughts later on. Here's Ryan Melendez. Looked leukemia right in the eye and defeated it. And he is now a USC student and is attempting to, over the next couple of years, rejoin his chase on the golf course, join the golf team. The long-form version of his story, go see it on Perfect Game's YouTube site, but it's clearly inspirational. He didn't know how he would do on this firing a strike, and that's pretty good. I guess if you're scouting courage, he's off the charts, and even throwing a strike, that's a pretty darn good first pitch. His story was amazing last night, wasn't it?
I mean, I could tell he practiced that too, Dan. That was pretty good. Yeah, his story last night, it was humbling to understand what this young man has gone through and how he looks at life now, and it was inspiring at the same time.
Danny Wexelman is standing by with a little bit more on that exact story. Danny?
Guys, it's so incredible. I had the chance to go to Rady for the very first time this year, and watching these guys at the park. First of all, Perfect Game All-American Classic has raised more than $1 million since 2006 for these kids, and Ryan is directly impacted by that. Also, this year's class raised more than $85,000, the most in the history of this event. These guys went to Rady. We met a little girl named Zainab, and Zainab told us that today, that day, and 2 days ago, her last infusion, she's done with chemo. An amazing memory for these guys, and Zainab as well.
David Ronsley, and thank you, by the way, Danny. David, that has always been the push of Perfect Game. David, of course, coming back on with us as well, Perfect Game's Vice President of Player Personnel, and you've been a part of this a lot longer than I have. That's the #1 goal of this game, is to reach out to this community and make sure those that are battling pediatric cancer benefit.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it, Darren. It's so integral to what Jerry Ford and the Ford family are thinking, and it gets to the players, too. When you talk to these players later, as you often do, one of the first things they say when you ask them about the memories, they all remember Rady's Children's Hospital, and even as adults, I've been there a couple times, and it leaves a mark on you that you will never forget.
The West about to get ready to go to work. The East with the bats in their hands. Ed Howard out of Chicago, and now we're getting to know these spectacular athletes. Dylan Cruz bats in the second spot. Austin Hendrick is batting third. Blaze Jordan, you saw his feature. David Ronsley, Jordan Walker is a special athlete and a Duke commit and does everything well. Baseball field, classroom.
Oh, everything. When we talk to the players, he is really the most well-spoken player. Dan, I know when you look at his package of tools and 6'5" and 210 pounds, his bat speed, and you were talking about his grace at third base athletically.
Yeah, usually you look at a kid at his age, you begin to question as he matures in that body, is he going to have to move? But he's got great actions athletically at third base. He throws the ball, David, as you know, from different angles, and that bat, there's something really special at bat. He keeps it long on plane and finishes way out front. It's really good.
Defensively, Southern California is certainly going to be represented in center field with Pete Crow, Armstrong, Chase Davis, from up in the Sacramento area. Slade Wilkes is out of Mississippi. Robert Moore, many say one of the better shortstops in all the land, undersized, large on heart. Milan Tolentino's father, Jose, had a big league career and a pretty good one, and is a fine broadcaster as well. Michael Brown, one of the lone sluggers in the national showcase at Chase Field to homer. Drew Romo's, who you talked about coming on the air, and right-hander Mick Abel goes to work. Number 26 on that jersey. Abel has been progressing year after year. He's a big part of not only this event, but USA Baseball as well. David, he was up to 97 miles an hour at the National Showcase. He's the #1 player in the United States, is ranked by Perfect Game.
Oh, yeah, and the thing that's so exciting about Mick Abel, you look at 6'5", 185 pounds, you look at the body, you look at him in the face, and he's a young kid physically and in his looks, and he's already so good. He's so advanced, not only with the ability to throw 97 miles an hour, but with his command, his ability to repeat his delivery. And Dan, that slider's a special pitch.
Yeah, it's the ease of effort for me. You know, we've seen a lot of kids that throw hard, and there's effort beyond that. This kid, he's got whippiness in his arm. He's pretty on line with his delivery. He just does everything exceptionally well, and you're right. That slider comes out of the same tunnel as his fastball, and it's almost unhittable when it's right.
Jesuit High School, his head coach is Colin Griffin. Kinesiology may be the area of study someday. Mom is Dagny and Dad is Neil, getting ready to face Ed Howard out of the greater Chicagoland. And Ed made a nice homage to Alex Thomas, Alec Thomas, who's a rising star in the Diamondbacks organization. A lot of respect, and that was neat how we mentioned, hey, I'm not putting him baseball-wise on the map. Alec already did that. Yeah, and Alec, of course, played in the All-American Classic a couple of years ago, and is now a very fine prospect in A-ball and really hitting well.
I'll tell you what, this young man's exciting to watch. I mean, he's electric from a defensive standpoint. He's got really good hands to hit. He's got a good feel, awareness of the game. And you're going to enjoy watching this young man catch in Romo. As I said, this is a very advanced receiver.
Romo is his catcher behind the plate, and we're all glad that you're with us on behalf of Perfect Game and our broadcast team, as that one sails high and inside and off the plate. 96 miles an hour, the first pitch.
Guys, you're dealing with some shadows too.
And that one dives in, misses inside at 94 miles an hour. And it is easy. That is easy.
It's easy. And it's got a little late life to it, too. That ball had some onside run on it.
Inside, that had arm side run and got him on the backside.
David, isn't it amazing how guys, even that have been to a lot of big events, how your heart rate just starts a little higher in these kind of games.
Oh, yeah, and you can see what he's doing there. He's missing inside. His body's getting it out in front of his arm. And it's understandable. We have to remind ourselves of this all the time as scouts, that these kids are nervous. They're playing in a big league ballpark. A big league game ended 2 hours ago, and they're on the same field.
They want to do well.
Yeah, and Mick Abel's obviously really amped up right now.
A really interesting part here, Darren. You got a guy who can run and a guy that can throw behind the plate.
Athletic as well, as that one sails up and in, the arm a little bit below that fastball to Dylan Cruz out of Lake Mary High School in Florida, Longwood, Florida. And a talented young man with regard to the bat in his hands. His mom is Kim, his dad is George. Dylan, an LSU commit.
Had a chance to watch him all summer. He played with Jack. He's a kid that really stays very connected well through his swing. His power to right center is legit. Very explosive athlete, and also just a great kid, good competitor.
He was a finalist last night for the Jackie Robinson Award, and highly decorated throughout all of prep baseball as that fastball sails high and inside. Again, the velocity is there, just the command is not for the #1 player in the land, Mick Abel.
Dave, you nailed that, man. Not getting out of his gloves, arms dragging a little bit, not catching up.
Dials it back, and that's a plenty effective pitch. At 91 was sink.
Yeah, and it's like you talk about basketball players who they see the ball go in the basket. Now, Mick Abel's seen the ball go in the strike zone. He's seen the umpire's arm go up. It should become easier for him now.
Runner thought about it, didn't. Back to that comfortable pitch, as you said, with some life to it at 93 miles an hour against Dylan Cruz.
And we talk about spin rate a lot in our industry. Right there, what you saw was spin efficiency. It was movement at the end of the pitch. And that's what makes this young man very effective.
High fly ball, back of short, shallow center field. In left center field, come on down, that's Slade Wilkes out of Mississippi, the power hitting Slade Wilkes. And again, you're talking about an instinct shortstop in Robert Moore, and right away communication good.
Tough play for shortstop here. You're running blind. Good job by Robin. Good job by Robin. Got out of there, cleaned early.
Yeah, a lot of these players have played with each other before. They've certainly been here for the last 3 or 4 days, but these are young men who play baseball every single day during the summer, and that communication, playing that much, becomes natural to them.
Runner on the move. Romo's throw a little bit high to the first base side, but that was a big, big jump for Ed Howard.
Watch the explosion on Howard. This is where you steal bases. It's the first step. See that? Crossover, first step, buried his front leg. That's excellent. No way Drew's going to be able to get him on that. This young man hitting, you're talking about electric hands here. I mean, the ball has a different sound coming off his bat.
Moore tries to sneak in, run a pickoff play. That young man is Austin Hendrick out of West Allegheny High School in Oakdale, Pennsylvania. Performed at National very well. 105-mile-an-hour exit velocity, and he has hit and hit and hit. There's that electric swing. He comes up empty.
And Dan, you made a comparison before we got on air about Austin Hendrick that I thought was outstanding.
Yeah.
And it was a player that we're both experienced enough that we saw play in high school.
Yeah, I did a side-by-side look on him, and he's not as physical as Josh Hamilton, but the hand speed, position of the bat, and how it gets through the zone, it's almost identical. That's a pretty tough comparison to wear there. Hamilton's a very talented player, but so is this young man.
And one jumps out of the zone. Austin Hendrick last night the winner of the Nick Adenhart Courage Award. He has had to be strong within the walls of his home. His dad, Dan, a couple of springs ago suffered a stroke and is still working himself back. And so Austin taking up that mantle as the man of the house when he's needed to. And the interesting thing about it, he still keeps getting stronger and stronger as a baseball player. He serves that one into right field. Drawing a throw from right. Ed Howard with the tag. Chase Davis firing it back in. Settling down a bit, 2 outs in the inning. The runner moves to third.
Yeah, he was on that ball. That shows you Abel's got that little late life on this fastball because it ran just away from the barrel. Watch it run just away from it. Got in on him just a little bit away from his barrel.
Boy, that is a pretty swing.
It is.
And it was fun watching Chase Davis there throw from the outfield. Not really a chance to get Howard there, but Chase Davis, one of the strongest arms, prototypical right field
That's
tools.
a 7-arm right there.
This is Blaze Jordan. He swings and misses over the top of an outstanding slider that time. Jordan reclassified. He was the #1 player in the 21 class. He's now the #2 player in the 20 class. He has played up his entire career. Another breaking ball, 1-1.
Yeah, he may see a few of those sliders in this at-bat.
Yeah, and the thing about that slider, Mick Abel's throwing 93, 94 miles an hour. That's an 85, 87 mile an hour slider with that kind of depth to it.
Yeah, it's like a dot. Then he drops on 94 mile an hour fastball on him. Hasn't run anything inside at all on him right here. Everything has been to glove side.
Jordan plays his travel ball for the Doolin Dodgers and has done so very effectively for Tim Doolin's group for a long time. A group that produced Mookie Betts and Austin Riley. Right in on the hands. He pulls him in, but it's foul.
You know, you bring up these travel groups, and a guy like Timmy Doolin is just one of the better teachers in the game. And all these travel teams have some just incredible baseball people that do such a good job with these young men.
Anticipating as much as he can. And that slider looked at it very comfortably.
Great block. You know, that's not an easy block. When you get a scud ball that far out in front of the plate with a runner on third base, watch Romo's reaction to it. I mean, that's really good positioning. He does things back there like he's in high A already.
Sinker down and in at 94 miles an hour, and down goes Blaze Jordan. Everyone was looking forward to that matchup. Here's what's fun. They've got about 15 more elite matchups just like that in the first few innings.
Smooth sailing here at Petco Park. I'm going to walk Pete Crow Armstrong up to the plate. He's leading off. Pete, on a scale of 1 to 100, my friend, where's your heartbeat at right now?
It's pretty high. Nate, he's a great arm and not the most fun pitcher to face if you're a lefty. So Yeah, I'm a little nervous, but I'm going to do it.
We know he's going to bring the heat. As the leadoff guy for your team, what's your approach?
With him, I mean, I don't want to fall behind, so I'm going to probably attack first pitch fastball if it's there. Don't want to see a slider, so yeah, first pitch fastball hopefully.
You got some special socks on right now.
Yeah, I got a pair of my dress socks on under these. A little superstition of mine, so you can't really see them. I'm not going to show you either, but yeah, I do it every game. It's a funny pair of socks. So.
Pete, good luck, okay?
Thank you.
Darren?
Pete Crow Armstrong to lead things off for this West squad. Catcher Drew Romo in that second spot. We talked about Slade Wilkes out of Mississippi, A.J. Vukovic out of Wisconsin. Catcher Kevin Parada is in the DH spot. There's Robert Moore and the home run of Michael Brown at the National Showcase. Davis and Soderstrom on down to the bottom. And it is time to go to work against talented left-hander Nate Savino. And when I say talented, this is a big arm with a high upside. He's out of Virginia. He's a Virginia commit.
Yeah, Nate Savino, the #1 ranked left-hander in the class. He was up to 96 miles an hour at the National Showcase. And Pete Armstrong hunting the fastball. First fastball he saw for a strike, fouls it off. But what you're going to see from him once he gets settled in is that mid-90s fastball. And then as Pete referred to, you don't want to see the slider, especially if you're a left-handed hitter.
Breaking ball, big sweep to it. It grabs the outside corner. That went from dugout to dugout.
Tough matchup on a left-hand hitter right here. That starts at its front hip.
The 1-2 from Pete, he spoils, and that's what he does a lot. Contact is his MO.
How about Pete, though? I mean, he's going up there with an approach and a plan. So many young players go up there and, you know, they're not sure. And this Pete went up there trying. He didn't necessarily get the fastball, but he was hunting it, and that was a very mature way to look at this at bat.
Choked up on the bat too. You can see the bottom of the bat as he rolls that breaking ball foul. A lot of successful contact for him. He's a cool customer, though. That's not that edge that we see in other athletes, yet he's had years of success.
Well, again, you know, one of the things I look for in games like this, just guys' desire to compete. Right now, he may not get a hit in this at bat. He's competing in this at bat.
That bat choked up upon still. That one gets the outside corner. And a pitcher's pitch, probably a little bit frustrated with that call, but Savino just dots the black.
Dotting it at 95 miles an hour with intent. That's what he wanted to do, is miss outside, didn't want to put a ball in the wheelhouse. And at worst, it's called a ball, and he set himself up for a breaking ball.
Savino gets those kind of strikes the rest of this inning. He's going to be tough to hit because that slider was a little off the plate, too. That's a tough at-bat right there. Good job by Bolger, though. Caught that ball where it was thrown. It's one thing with catchers. Umpires don't like you moving the glove. They just want you to catch the ball was thrown, and Jack did a really good job there.
Drew Romo's the #1 catcher in the United States, is ranked by Perfect Game. He's out of the Woodlands High School in Texas. He was a shortstop just a couple of years ago and said every time I went to showcases, there were all shortstops everywhere. I decided to learn to catch, and he, as you heard in the open, turned into one of the best in the country. Ease out there. That is smooth as silk. The shortstop, Ed Howard.
How about that, David?
Yeah,
it's special.
Yeah, when you see athletes of Ed Howard's quality that play the game so easy and smooth, no wasted action, no tension whatsoever.
No.
It's just fun to watch.
That is fun. You know, in this week, being here, watching these kids, watching him take ground balls on a daily basis that's been a joy.
The son of Christy and Mike is Caden Wallace, and Wallace is an Arkansas commit who goes to work on a big sweeping breaking ball. And a target down low. Jack Bolger behind home plate working with Savino. That's a great look as Caden is in the hole 0-1 with a smile on his face. Not much you can do with that young man. Bouncing ball, middle of the diamond towards center field, and it's a base hit.
Wallace is a very interesting kid. He's got a little Bregman in for me. The way his bat stays on plane, stays out a zone out front. He's a good-looking hitter.
Yeah, and he's really had a solid week. Every BP I've seen him hit, he hits so under control with his swing. As you said, it's on the ball for a long time, and he's really in a good hitting zone right now.
He played at Perfect Games World Wood Bat Association World Championship in Jupiter. It is a massive amateur event last year, and that means you played up. All these athletes that played in it last year played up, and he had 5 games, 5 hits, 2 walks. He was on base a ton, talking about Caden Wallace. As Wallace now gives way to Slade Wilkes. There is power in this bat out of Columbia, Mississippi, Columbia Academy. 44 home runs in his high school career. Breaking ball swung right through, stolen base there. Good jump, swiping that one, Caden Wallace.
Yeah, this is one of your favorite players right here, hitting-wise, isn't he?
Oh, yes, no doubt. Slade Wilkes comes up to the plate. You were talking about a plan. His plan is to attack, and you saw there he was hunting fastball, and he got way out in front of it. But he treats the ball with anger almost. He wants to hurt that baseball, and it's a modern swing. And you didn't see it there on the fastball. Maybe you'll see it later in the game when he gets a fastball.
Yeah, it's kind of unfair to have to deal with Nate Savino, Mr. Wilkes. We understand.
Welcome back to Petco Park. I'm with Hall of Famer Trevor Hoffman. I'm going to embarrass him for a quick second here. 18-year Major League career, 601 career saves, the Milwaukee Wall of Fame. You were just inducted into that. But the title I want to talk to you about most is dad. You're a dad, and there are a lot of dads watching out there right now, and they've got sons coming up and playing. What's your advice to them?
Yeah, it's really good. Appreciate the introduction. You know, the best piece of advice I can give is really just love your kid. End of the day, you know, you're going to get a chance to play with them in the backyard and watch their careers blossom. But ultimately, when the game's done playing, you want that love and you want that bond with your child to look back on the many years that know that you had their support.
You are a national spokesperson for Perfect Game. I forgot that title. That's also another title that Trevor has. And you have seen so many guys come through here. And I know that you're so proud of them. What encourages you most about this class, about future classes that you're seeing today?
That's just it. They're our future. I love the fact what Jerry and Betty were able to create here. It's a great formula. It's an opportunity that was just for Iowans at the beginning, and now it's across the nation, and it's a great scouting opportunity for those in MLB and collegiate ranks. So it's just great to be associated with the future of our game.
Trevor, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Darren, back to you.
Jordan Walker puts it on the ground. That one trickles foul. We appreciate that conversation and the kindness and how much hosting goes on when Trevor is here. This is Jordan Walker hitting. He's out of Decatur, Georgia. He is big, tall, athletic. He's 6'5", plays on the corner. He can also go up onto the mound. He's incredibly intelligent. He's a Duke commit. There's a lot to like about Jordan Walker.
No doubt about it, Darren. I think in the show we did after the PG National, I called him the resume because he checks every one of those boxes on the field and off the field, all over the field that you want to see in a young player.
Spoils a fastball up. When you have that size at that young of an age, to hold on to the athleticism is uncommon.
It is. I mean, he's got a little Eloy Jimenez for me with the ability to stay at third base. This is a very unique athlete.
Hard shot to the right side. He hung in there with the hard-throwing Jared Kelly.
I mean, that was 98 that he fouls off down the right field line. Then he comes back off a changeup, which is, look at this changeup. Left it up, but still to have the ability to stay behind the ball and drive it into right center. I mean, guys, that's really hard to do right there.
Yeah, and you see on that replay, he shortened up. He had 2 strikes on him, and it was a quick little well-timed stab with the front leg, and he just stayed behind the ball. He did what he needed to do to get on base.
He barreled it.
Yeah,
you know, that's hard contact.
Jackie Robinson Award finalist last night at the awards program as that one is fouled off. By the way, this is a big arm out of Refugio, Texas. We talked about him coming on the air. His name is Jared Kelly. This is a young man that was up to 98 miles an hour at Perfect Games National Showcase. He was a great quarterback a couple of years ago, more than 3,000 yards on the football field, but he's put football aside to focus on baseball.
What I like about Jared Kelly is you see a lot of these pitchers, the young pitchers, especially the ones that aren't physically mature, like a McAble, let's say, and their stuff varies from game to game. Jared Kelly is 94, 96, top out at 98. He's been up to 99 already here. Every outing going back all through the whole year. It's where he's had. You don't need to project him as a scout to improve. He's already there physically with his raw stuff.
He's got an incredibly strong core of his body. Actually, his delivery is really good. It's sound. It stays together well.
Another tall, athletic corner infielder is Kobe Mayo. He goes down on strikes. We'll share his story with you because this is a young man out of Stoneman Douglas High School, and we all know about on Valentine's Day a couple of years ago, the 17 that lost their lives. He plays to honor them, and we'll see him a lot more out there as he gives way to Mario Zabala.
Darren, that wasn't fair there. Dropped an 80-mile-an-hour slurve on the corner and then came back and punched him with a glove side fastball at 98. That's really hard on a right-hand hitter.
This is an athlete that has been good. Ooh, a big jump off the bag, and he's gone. I mean, cleaned right off there. And there again, Kelly with those quick feet.
Yeah, short athleticism right there. He's trying to time his delivery there to get a running jump. Good awareness on Kelly's part. This shows you that he's into this game. He's not out there just pumping. He gets it.
Mario Zabala, high bouncing ball to the right side. Michael Brown flips to Kelly, covering, not in time. Zabala has electric speed. That was fun. He got to show it off. This is an athlete that ran a 6'3", 260 at Perfect Games National Showcase.
Oh, yes. I call him Super Mario. He has more fun playing this game, I think, than any player, and he has tools. You see him there, the speed. He's run down to 6'2", and to 60, and at his size, it's a Raul Mondesi body. He's big, he's thick, he's strong, but he's got that twitchiness and the speed despite looking really like a football player.
He's out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, and again, he has been doing good things for many years. He was part of Perfect Game's 14U Select Festival, the 14-year-old version of this All-American Classic a couple of years ago. Jack Bolger takes a fastball that is high, 1-0 the count. Bolger makes his run at things now. He's out of Maryland, a catcher.
Vandy commit. He's got really quick feet. He almost got somebody else.
Yeah, those quick feet tie into maybe one more line in that scouting report for Jared Kelly.
You know what I'm impressed with right here? He's got, in a game like this, you can just be so focused on trying to maintain your composure to throw strikes. He's got really good awareness about himself.
Bouncing ball, middle of the diamond. Robert Moore, the #1 shortstop in the land, shows it. The spring in his steps, it's like he's running on air. Good, clean inning. And the pickoff hurt. It hurt the other side, trying to get it going for the East. Beautiful, beautiful evening in San Diego. Perfect Game All-American Classic scoreless. Don't forget, watch the Twins take on the Brewers this Wednesday at 2 o'clock Eastern. The MLB Game of the Week live on YouTube. Visit youtube.com/MLB to watch the game. Love that. Such a great broadcast package and the evolution of Major League Baseball and tying into you finding their game, and they'll find you where you're at. This young man's out of Wisconsin, AJ Vukovich, and he's facing a talented and hard-throwing pitcher out of New York, out of the Bronx, New York. Plays his travel ball for the New York Gothams. His name is Alex Santos.
We see Santos working from the stretch, even though obviously his first pitch out of his outing. You see a lot of young men do that nowadays. Keeps their delivery simple, and it certainly works with Alex Santos, 94 on the first pitch.
The thing that stands out for me at this young man's life, he's just got really, really exceptional life. Very, very live arm, a little longer on the backside, but rhythms it up well with his delivery.
Boy, beautiful sink to that pitch just below the strike zone, and it's a tall strike zone with AJ Vukovich.
Pretty good pitch right there, boys. That's really well executed.
Vukovich out of McGuanago, Wisconsin, just outside of Milwaukee. High fly ball right side. Long run. Austin Hendrick runs out of room going up against that wall.
And much like we talked about with Jordan Walker earlier, 6'5" with the long arms. Sometimes those long arms can be a detriment to a hitter, especially when you're facing this kind of velocity. But Vukovich has always hit with power in major events. I've seen him go yard against low 90s pitchers, so he has the ability to shorten up that swing and get the barrel out and show his power.
R.J. Fergus, his high school coach at East Troy High School in Wisconsin. Oh, what a breaking ball, and down goes Vukovich.
Well, that was nice to see, because Santos is known as a strong arm guy, a guy with projection on the fastball. He doesn't always bring that breaking ball, and if he can throw that pitch consistently and have 2+ pitches, it shows a very bright future for the young man from Brooklyn.
Again, another young man that's gone out there and really looks under control with his delivery and his composure.
Yeah, they got the bucket over there. I'll look at it in a minute.
Kevin Parada swings at another breaking ball. He goes back-to-back. He's out of Pasadena, California. He's a catcher. #3 catcher in the United States, is ranked by Perfect Game. And at National, good stuff. Pop time 188. 99-mile-an-hour exit velocity. A bright future for the Georgia Tech commit in Kevin Parada.
What Parada's always done at perfect game events is very simply hit.
Yeah.
He was the MVP in Jupiter last year at the World Championships. Hits with power, hits for average, does the same thing in high school, and he just has outstanding barrel-to-ball skills.
Back-to-back strikeouts. That fastball over the outside corner from Alex Santos.
Yeah, this is not fair right here. You dot a breaking ball at the first pitch, and the next two have been 94 on the. That's an unhittable pitch.
Like all-star games are what they are, right? And a gathering,
you don't
it's
see
like
a lot
facing
of offense.
a closer
Absolutely.
every inning.
And you can't get in a rhythm with the pitcher because you're seeing a different one every time out. So this is a challenge for the offensive players.
Let's see how Robert Moore can handle it. Out of Shawnee Mission High School in Leawood, Kansas. You know the name Dayton Moore. That is Dad. For more than a dozen years running the ship with the Kansas City Royals. And meanwhile, this young man, mom is Mary Ann, the Arkansas commit, has been just making a name for himself year after year as he gets older. No surprise, his travel team, the Royal Scout team. I don't think we'd be surprised by that.
Can't play on another team other than
No, that's not going to happen.
Good
Chases
swing.
a fastball up and fouls it back. What makes it a good swing?
He stayed on playing with it. The ball was just up. It was not the right pitch to swing at in that situation on a 2-0 count, but he was short to the ball. See, the ball was just up, but he was nice and short and direct to the ball. What a proud moment for Dayton. I know he's here tonight watching Robert play.
That bat flies away toward the dugout as he comes up empty on that one.
Now, Davis, the one thing all of these kids will have to learn as they matriculate in their careers, with velocity in particular, is that the ball up is kryptonite. You know, it's really hard to consistently get to the ball up unless you're physically kind of freakish to be able to do that.
Yeah, no doubt. And I've always been told that right-handers it's more kryptonite to a right-handed hitter for some reason. But we see there it's an equal opportunity piece of kryptonite.
He wants to make sure that he can hold on to that bat, though. They toss out some Lincecum. He played a couple years ago at the 14U PG Select Festival.
I think he was getting some grief from the East squad when he went over there.
He's a switch hitter. Breaking ball spoils that one. Tough pitch down and in at the shoe tops.
Yeah, good to get a bat on the ball there. Foul off a very difficult pitch. Robert's grinding now. He's an exceptional competitor.
Loves that Royal Scout team. He has played with his travel ball teammates since he was 8 to 10 years old. And there may be one more event for travel ball players together. That's in Jupiter at the World Wood Bat Association Championship. But this is kind of bittersweet. This game, and there are those elite athletes that are taking part in USA Baseball, and then Jupiter, and then travel ball is over.
Yeah, it's kind of a bittersweet end for fathers and parents, right? This journey that goes on for years and all the memories you create around it, and then it just stops.
This is, again, a really good at bat.
Good at bat. One of the better ones of the night so far. Walker's base hit to right off of a vicious changeup, and Robert's putting together a really good at bat right here.
Infield, outfield plays just about straight up. Puts that bat high away from his body and pops that one up to the left side, where Jordan Walker, one step across that foul line, puts that one away for the out. My goodness, that was a statement that was made there by Alex Santos out of the Bronx in New York, the PG All-American Classic.
Welcome back to Petco for the Perfect Game All-American Classic. I'm with Jeremy Brown, National Cross-Checker for Perfect Game. Jeremy, we're going to talk a little technology. There is so much technology in the game today, sometimes overwhelming. How is Perfect Game using the most advanced technology right now in performance data to take their game to the next level?
Yeah, so obviously you can watch a game, you can see what happens. We're more interested in how the results come to us. We have Diamond Kinetic Swing Tracker, we have the Pitch Tracker. And while you can see what's coming off the bat, it's the stuff, the three key components of a swing leading into it that's really what we're looking at. It comes to all of our showcases. It loads up on every player's profile. You can use it as a training tool, but it also shows you just how you continue to progress as a player.
Okay, so I want to talk about Drew Bowser. Drew Bowser, standing right near us right now, he can hear us, won the Home Run Derby earlier today, and he had some really great numbers. I want to read them, I want to get them right. From his swings from Swing Tracker, barrel speed at 9. per hour, exit velo, high 90s. The data doesn't lie, but what does that data mean?
Sure, yeah, the numbers definitely don't lie, especially when it comes to Drew. Obviously, he won the home run derby, so you know the numbers are going to be off the charts. The one that really stands out is his max acceleration. So to put it into perspective, it's measured on Gs. 5 Gs is your typical roller coaster. 9 Gs is what your pilot will pass out at in a jet plane. He's swinging it at 38 Gs. Just to put it into perspective, the kind of power that's coming out of his bat, you mentioned the launch angle, the barrel speed, all of that results in one home run derby championship here at Petco.
Drew Bowser can't even believe it. Jeremy, thank you so much. Darren, back to you.
Yeah, insightful stuff, and we appreciate both of you digging in on that. Zach Veen is the hitter. He's out of Spruce Creek High School in Port Orange, Florida, and he has a new arm that he's dealing with, the talented left arm of Daxton Fulton. And he sends Veen back to the dugout in which he will see some of his Scorpions teammates. Zach plays on that squad. What a breaking ball.
Yeah, what we've seen so far from Dax Fulton, he's 6'6". He's got a high 3/4 release angle, and the ball's coming downhill to the plate. And when he throws that big breaking 76-mile-an-hour curveball that we saw 3 times there, that the angle on that pitch is just extreme.
He's really, seeing him last summer to this summer too, Dave, we've talked about this. It's really, he's made an incredible jump in his velocity from a year ago.
Yeah, he pitched at the All-American Underclass games, which were played earlier this week for this year's class, and he topped out at 86 miles an hour exactly a year ago. You could see the talent there. It just hadn't matured into
Absolutely. So every young pitcher watching this game, a lot can change over the next 12 months for you.
Pretty fastball over the inside corner. Yohandi Morales, G. Holmes Braddock High School in the Miami area. Plays his travel ball for the Banditos Club. And he has just been some kind of special in his perfect game career as he swings at a breaking ball. We see back-to-back wipeout breaking balls to put strikeouts in this scorebook. It's backwards K, it's frontwards K, and it's impressive stuff from the left-hander.
Do want to give a shout out to Dax's mom, Jennifer. She has really been struggling with some health issues, and I think right now she's in the Mayo Clinic, probably watching this game on TV, and you've got an awful lot to be proud of, Jennifer, with your son. He's quite a young man.
Good thoughts, and husband Chad, dad Chad, and Cade and Avery, the other members of that family, all pulling together. Dax was talking about as he fires a fastball over the outside corner, and it's strike one to Jake DeLeo. DeLeo, one of the great stories at this showcase. A month ago, was not supposed to be here at all as he takes outside. But Dax was talking about his mom. Great runner, an elite runner, really fit, and just her health has caught up with her now, and she's in a battle that, she shouldn't be in the way she takes care of herself. So thoughts and prayers certainly with her, and as you said very well, Dan, a quality young man as he puts in the hole again another hitter in Jake DeLeo.
Runs that fastball arm side away from the barrel, Dave, at 92. First pitch was a changeup, so.
Breaking ball. He did go around. That was an inning. He just struck out the side, and every single decisive pitch was a wicked breaking ball. Daxton Fulton out of Oklahoma City. He was up to 93 at the National Showcase, and he showed some of that. Yuck. Perfect Game All-American Classic riding over the Coronado Bridge. The stats of the game, 182 major leaguers coming out of this event. Look at the first rounders, and those numbers tell you that 90% of all participants have been drafted. And it's simple, too. I mean, you just look at the game played right before this. The Padres and the Colorado Rockies and the alumni that have come through Perfect Game, it was loading them up. 26 players, 10 and 16.
Wow.
Just amazing, the names when you look on down the list of Hunter Renfroe and Eric Hosmer and Manny Machado and Austin Hedges. And now these are athletes that have played in at least one Perfect Game event, and Kyle Freeland, John Gray, and Ian Desmond, just to name a few.
Got to see Josh Naylor, former PG All-American, hit a home run for the Padres.
This is Ryan Bruno. He is a Stanford commit. He goes to work with a fastball in. He is a wonderful story. He is an outstanding student. You have to be if you're going to Stanford. He has had an incredible summer, a summer that has seen him get up to 96 miles an hour. And he also has a twin brother, his twin brother Jordan, who's a right-handed pitcher who is also going to Stanford.
the first time that's happened?
I'm going to guess
Right-handed,
Twins
left-hand
and
pitcher,
Stanford.
pretty good right there.
Yeah, you have to wonder with the younger brother, it's like, why couldn't I have been born left-handed too? We all know the advantages of being a left-handed pitcher.
Line shot out to third, a step or two over to knock that ball down. That was a bolt, Kobe Mayo, the Stoneman Douglas star. A couple of steps to his right to make the play. Michael Brown with that beautiful approach. Remember, he homered to right at the Perfect Game National Showcase.
Yeah, that was nice to see out of Michael Brown because he is a pull hitter. Power is his tool. He made an adjustment there against the left-handed hitter. And much like you've been impressed, Dan, by the way the pitchers are under control. That was a very under control swing for a big power hitter.
You know, he hadn't shown that at all, too, in any of his other work. It's been more pull-oriented, so.
Look out.
Wow.
Look out.
Kind of let that one go a little bit. Got away from him.
All the way to the backstop, over the head of Milan Tolentino.
Maybe those two were like rivals at the ping pong tables in the
could be.
in the players' room this week or something like
I
that.
think that one just got away from him.
That's an excitement pitch.
All right, David, you could stir it up a little bit.
Yeah,
I'll go
Dave,
with
that's
you.
great, yeah.
I'll go out on the plank with you a little bit.
These guys get after
Ooh.
in that ping pong table.
Man, that was good. Good pitch right in on his hands.
Tough pitch for Milan Tolentino to deal with. He's out of Santa Margarita Catholic High School in Mission Viejo, California. And he finds the sweet spot on the bat a lot. His dad, Jose, played in nearly 1,300 pro games, but he didn't find the sweet spot that time. This is Chase Davis being walked up to home plate, and as you walk with him, understand that he's from the Sacramento area. Franklin High School up in Central California. Brian Kilby's his head coach. Jamil is mom, Tommy is dad. Jamil Moons and Tommy Davis. David, you and I had a chance to spend quite a bit of time with him. He was on the Perfect Game All-American Classic Selection Show.
Yeah, and what a fun young man. Very pleasant to talk to, very intelligent, understands his game and his strengths and weaknesses very well. And kind of young player is just going to keep getting better as he gets more and more repetitions.
Another two-sport athlete. I understand he's a goalie. A very good one on a soccer team.
Yes.
So got a crossover athlete right here, which is good to see.
Love that his other sport is soccer, and he talks about the athleticism, the anticipation that has gone on to being a club soccer player level goalie. He's also played for Major League Baseball's Breakthrough Series program. We can't talk enough about that, as that one hits the inside corner. The leadership of Tony Regans and Dowell Matthews providing opportunity and growing the game with athletes, predominantly African-American athletes, travel teams with the support of baseball. Perfect Game working with the Breakthrough Series, and Davis, one of the guys that has been able to play in big events.
It's made a huge impact on our sport. Tony Regans has done just a great job in leading that, creating all new opportunities for young men to play our game, catch the fever, the baseball fever.
And Chase is one of those athletes. Again to the backstop, and again over the head of the helmet. I'm going to go with the slippage, not with the ping pong war thing.
Well, if he throws him a breaking ball away right now, that's not going to be fair.
Bruno's had a pretty good handle, and the breaking ball he threw him earlier was just wicked, really tough to deal with. Christine is mom, and Peter is dad when you think about the Bruno family. Bruno pitching this summer for the East Coast Sox program. Their home base is in Mississippi, but players all around the country. Ryan Bruno, American Heritage High School in Florida, Wellington, Florida. Throws him a fastball up and in, and down he goes. A nice, clean inning. Playing for all the hardware, bragging rights. Not too comfortable in the batter's box, and when it's all said and done, that's what they're playing for. The Perfect Game All-American Classic.
Welcome back to Petco Park. I'm standing here with Tim Lincecum. Tim, I'm so excited to get to chat with you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm really good. So I'm going to read a couple numbers to you. You have 3 Cy Young Awards. You are 2 Cy Young Awards. You are a 3-time World Series champion, and you also have 2 no-hitters.
Yes.
Excuse me. You are in company with Sandy Koufax. What do you think about that?
Lightly, I'll be to be a sense. My dad's favorite player growing up was Sandy Koufax, so like I said, he'll really appreciate that.
You've had a lot of time to spend here with the guys. These are the best 50 players in the country. What's the experience been like for you so far?
It's been really cool. I mean, like I said, again, it's been humbling just because all these men. I don't think there's anybody. There's only like 3 guys under 6 foot, and they're all filled out, and they're all special players. And anytime you get to be around these this kind of level of talent at that age, it's pretty cool to witness.
And my last question for you, I have to know, if you go back in your memory bank, your earliest baseball memory.
When I was in T-ball, I dropped drawer mid-game or mid-inning really to fix my stirrups, and my dad's got on tapes.
Tim Lincecum, thank you so much for your time.
You got it. Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Yeah, he was an amazing pitcher at Washington. Thank you, Danny, in his collegiate days. Drop drawer means, by the way, he went to fix his stirrups by dropping his Little League pants, as Ed Howard earns a walk. Howard leads things off. This is Kyle Harrison on the mound. He's a UCLA commit, De La Salle High School in Danville, California. He's a number 3 left-handed pitcher in the United States, and gentlemen, he was up to 93 at Perfect Games National Showcase. His guy, Chris Sale. He loves watching Chris Sale pitch.
Yeah, and he's kind of surprising. He went out and issued I believe the first walk, because he's very much a mature, polished pitcher. His first inning at the National Showcase was 8 pitches, 8 strikes. Very easy inning, and he'll settle down now here that he's got those first couple pitches out of his system.
Unique slot that he throws from. Very difficult guy to rhythm up.
And Dylan Cruz is trying to get comfortable with him as he fires it over to first base. Kim is his mom, Chris is his dad, both a San Jose State alum. As we said, he's a UCLA commit, this left-hander. Mom was a great field hockey player, played collegiately, so a really good athlete, as that one sinks low.
Dylan's really got to stay in approach to stay off gap and through the ball here. That's where he's very dangerous. He's got to get something out over the plate and not try to do too much with it.
We talked about hitters with a plan. His plan is very much right center field oriented. I've talked hitting with him before, listened to a talk about hitting, and he's very cerebral about it. He says, I know I could turn and pull the ball, hit with more power, but this is where I want to hit the ball. And that power will come. He's got the bat speed. We saw it this week in batting practice. But he's the guy who's going to might hit those triples up the right center field gap and do it with maturity.
He drives that one toward center field, toward the wall, racing over his shoulder. Run down out there. What a beautiful jump by Pete Crow Armstrong. And there are a couple of outs to get on one dangerous swing of the bat. He destroyed that baseball. A beautiful first step by Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah, this whole thing happened with his drop step, first step, and great angle to the ball. And you know about Pete? He does everything with such athletic ease. But I'll tell you, Dylan Cruz put a charge into that ball. That ball was barreled up. That was a loud noise coming off that bat. Great swing. Again, that connected swing. Now talk about connected swing. That means the hands stay connected to the body and that bat head stays right out through the zone.
Austin Hendrick now, the Mississippi State commit, and the #1 outfielder in the United States is ranked by Perfect Game. You can see exit velocity 109 for Austin Hendrick. There's some lore about what he has accomplished. We talked about his courage within the walls of his home and providing some leadership while his dad battles back from a stroke a couple of springs ago, and he's just kept getting better. He's combining a lot of things.
He's made some significant adjustments at the plate, too. He was a high toe tap, narrow based hitter. Hands were a little higher. He's gotten a little wider now. He's trying to create a little bit more balance, let those great hands work on a consistent basis. Keep his head a little bit more still.
David, you've been watching Austin for a long time.
Oh, and we talked about it National, where he starts his hands. It was a topic of conversation amongst all the scouts, and he had them. They're a good 4 or 5 inches lower now than they were just 2 months ago. He made the adjustment. You know, as a scout, you say, well, the pitchers will show him that he has to make an adjustment. But I think he made this adjustment before, based on listening and what felt good, and it's really worked out for him.
Not happy right there. Took a 3-1 fastball, very hittable pitch. See that body language there? I was like, dude, what are you thinking about? He's talking to himself right now.
There's just something not comfortable, though, about the way Harrison deals the baseball. Takes that one the other way, racing down the line. That one's down. Should be extra base hit. Hustling into second.
Would have been a run right there. It's funny that Mr. Howard didn't really, he never looked back after he took off. Like he really thought that ball must have been in the gap completely. Yeah. Really good piece of hitting right here, guys.
That one dumped out there in front of Slade Wilkes out there in left field. And now we get to see Blaze Jordan hit again. How much has he played at this young age? In travel ball, 117 perfect games. 13 home runs in his career and an OPS over 1,000. Good fastball.
Yeah, and the thing that's so impressive about Blaze as a hitter is that he has the power. He's proven that over and over again. At the National Showcase, he went 4 for 4 middle opposite because he gets pitched differently. Even though he's the youngest player in this game, he just reclassified, he gets pitched differently than a lot of his peers, and he has the ability to make adjustments to barrel up the ball.
Yeah, he's got great hands to hit.
And David, it's not always home runs or gappers every single time. He's not afraid to do what he has to do to hit line drives to right field. I've seen it, not with the scout's eye that you have, but you've seen approaches where it's, that's fine, I'll go the other way with it if I have to.
Yep. Yeah. That what makes him so special. Kind of advanced, too, for such a young man at his age. See, right there. He was trying to stay inside the ball. That's where he's lethal. When he keeps his front shoulder a little bit longer on the ball, like right here. Watch how he kept his front shoulder a little bit longer on the ball. Right there. Perfect. Head down. That's a beautiful swing. And he was trying to stay inside the ball. He's trying to hit that ball to right field. He needs to do that again right here.
He's got a big gap there between the second baseman and the first baseman just to drive it through, pick up an RBI.
Jennifer is mom. Chris is dad. They are both in the sports nutrition industry, run a business together, mom and dad. Choked up on the bat just a little bit, not a ton. Breaking ball didn't matter, too good of a pitch. Well, it's the story so far. It's been all about the pitchers. Kyle Harrison, that funky delivery, one that, I don't know, Chris Sale might like watching. Hello, San Diego. It's always good to be back to visit your beautiful bay. And even if you get stuck on a little bit of traffic heading over to Coronado, it's just fine. Next Sunday, tune in as the stars of today meet the stars of tomorrow. So much fun. Javi Baez and the Cubs take on Josh Bell and the Pirates at the MLB Little League Classic presented by Geico. The action begins next Sunday at 7 o'clock Eastern, ESPN at historic Bowman Field in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. We turnstile this game even more, seeing these great arms. This is Carson Montgomery, Windermere, Florida. Windermere High School, a couple of new defenders behind him as well. But Carson is ranked by Perfect Game the #2 player overall in the state of Florida, all positions.
Carson's a very young right-hander, just turned 17, I believe. And he comes across his velocity as his first pitch is 95 very easily. He was throwing 90 when he was 14, and he's really learned to control his delivery and throw more strikes as he's grown older.
Tyler Soderstrom, long drive to left field, high in the air. It hangs up nicely. I'll tell you more about Tyler when we see the young man out of Turlock, California in a bit. Now this is that Pete Crow Armstrong, Rawlings Gold Glove defensive play of the game.
Great angle to the ball, always had it under control. You know, Pete does everything so gracefully. And awareness right there to know that he had Howard. Yeah, he's got some style out there, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
There is a little bit of style out there. Not a bad approach, by the way, by Soderstrom, driving that one the other way.
He's got a good-looking bat, Dave. Soderstrom does. It's a real. He's got loose freedom. He's got some leverage in that swing. It's a good-looking young hitter.
Here's PCA. We saw his defensive gem just a moment ago, and Pete Crow back to the top of the order we go.
PCA.
PCA.
I kind of like that there.
What a great family he comes from. He is the only child, Pete Crow Armstrong. Ashley Crow is mom. Matt Armstrong is dad. He's a Vanderbilt commit. And he bears the name of both mom and dad. They both had strong acting careers, and they both are now teachers in the field of education. And there's some creativity and obviously there's speed and there's all the things and there's that beautiful bat, but he loves to write. He wants to produce documentaries someday. This would have been a fun week behind the scenes with these guys. PCA could have produced that. Just trying to come up with a name for his production company.
You're doing a good job.
I need a job soon. Breaking ball popped up left side.
Both at bats, Pete's been digging out of a hole. He's 1-2 in his first at bat, now 0-2 in this at bat. Against these kids, this is not an easy chore to do. How about that, Dave? He got fastball, he's got changeup, he got a slider. He's seeing Mr. Montgomery's entire bag of tricks here.
Probably another 95 or 96 right here.
He was on that one. And when you see a ball come right off the bat, straight bat like that, I mean, that's just millimeters from hitting really hard. Ball just beat him just a tad. Really good swing.
Well, look at that bat. He's choked up on it, just trying to stay alive in this one. And he goes down and literally goes down on strikes. Got him with a fastball.
Well, David, he didn't back off throwing 95. That one's 96 and up.
No, that's good old-fashioned hardball right
there.
He did,
yeah.
Hi, gentlemen. This is fun, isn't it?
We're having a blast.
I mean, it's really fun to see these guys all week long, to see them in their khakis and golf shirts, see how respectful they are. And you're one of the dads. Congratulations.
Yep.
But it's a celebration amongst all you parents.
It
really,
is.
really
Oh,
is.
man, it's a long journey for every parent that's here and every parent that's watching this game live on TV that hopes that their son might be playing in this game someday. The one thing the one thing that you love to see is just guys compete. I mean, these kids are out here competing right now. They're not having success every time, but they're competing.
There's been ping pong in the gathered room. There's been certainly some time in the pool. There's been a visit to Rady Children's Hospital. There have been seminars and educational possibilities, learning how to grow their future. There has been some Fortnite.
Jackie Robinson, Boys and Girl Club. Good swing, Drew Romo right there.
You bet. High fly ball into right center field. There's that pretty swing to go along with that great defense. He comes up empty, though. There have been a couple of baseballs drilled to center field tonight, but tonight, thus far, belongs to the pitchers.
Welcome back to Petco Park. It is a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I'm with Dowell Matthews, the VP of Baseball Development at Major League Baseball. Dell, this past weekend, the guys got to go out to the Jackie Robinson YMCA. They spent time at a Play Ball event. Play Ball is a worldwide initiative through Major League Baseball. But for those who aren't as familiar with this amazing, amazing event, tell us about it.
Yeah, we were at the Jackie Robinson Training YMCA complex. Had the opportunity to get about 130 kids from the East San Diego or Southeast San Diego area out to our Play Ball event. Really, it's a grassroots initiative for the young kids to play ball, play home run derby, run the bases, bat and ball exercises, and it's really to encourage the youth and the kids in the game to get out and play the baseball in an informal way.
Major League Baseball hosts so many different youth events, and some of them include the Breakthrough Series, the Hank Aaron Invitational, RBI, Reviving Baseball in the Inner Cities. What are you seeing from these programs, and what's so encouraging about the kids who are coming through?
Yeah, really, it started with the commissioner and his leadership, and on down to Tony Regan's, and what we're doing with the kids, giving them the opportunity to showcase themselves. In these type of events. We've got players from all over the country, inner city kids, and really giving them the platform to showcase their abilities. And it's been a great experience with all of the events. They keep getting better, and more kids are coming, and we're seeing more kids in games like this.
Awesome. Dell, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Danny.
Guys, back to you.
Yeah, I love dealing with Dowell Matthews and all the work that they do. Jared Jones is on the mound. He's out of La Mirada High School, La Mirada, California. He's got a huge arm. He's been up into the high 90s as he works on the mound. He threw 100 from the outfield at Perfect Games National Showcase, and a breaking ball skips in there. A quick introduction to Kobe Mayo. We've saw him work defensively. Yeah, the future's bright for these athletes. But Mayo out of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. And, of course, a couple of years ago, on Valentine's Day, so many lives changed forever as lives were lost. And he really plays to honor them. He said one of the hardest things he had to do, one of his greatest challenges as a young man, was just going back to school. He's had a Little League World Series experience. And, guys, this is a big, tall, athletic corner infielder. He's 6'4", 6'5" with that athleticism.
And he looks every bit of it, and he's one of the stronger players in this year's game. Fouls ball off his foot there. And what's intriguing about him is the way he loads so exaggerated on his backside. It's almost like a Jeff Bagwell type load. He comes out of it, and his swing's about lift. He's trying to lift the ball, and by getting on his backside, you know, he's setting himself up for that.
There's a mid-90s ball that sunk, like on top of the plate. So he's hitting a 3-1 count. It's a really good swing. It's just that ball disappeared at home plate.
Yeah, Jones is really one of the best athletes here. He's a very talented two-way athlete. He plays center field.
Check the shot out, by the way, David. How much of the box he covers?
Got some long legs there, Darren. Covering those. Oh, it's not fair. 3-2 slider.
A 3-2 slider up. A 3-2 spinning slider up. But he got a chase, and there is a lot of strike zone to deal with. It's a huge arm. It's an athletic player. This was a two-way player of the year. Mario Zabala. We talked a lot, David, how much you've seen him and your thoughts, and you've seen him evolve. What have been your thoughts on Mario Zabala the times you've seen him play?
Yeah, a little bit of Cespedes for me. I mean, it's a very tooled-up player, tremendous power. I think the key for his future for me is the consistency that he gets to his power. There is some swing and miss. He spins off the ball a little bit, but he's an extremely strong kid.
He's a Florida International commit, FIU. He played in Perfect Game Select Festival, their 14U All-American game, played each year on Labor Day weekend.
High energy player, though. Looks like he really loves playing the game of baseball.
He looks like a linebacker. And David, it's getting stronger, and as he gets a little older and fills out a little more, he's amazingly getting faster, even though he's putting more pounds on. Zoila is mom, Elano is dad. Back at home in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Plays his travel ball for a really respected organization, Team Mizuno, Puerto Rico. Who comes and plays in Florida a lot.
93 get me over fastball. 3-0 count.
Yeah, David, he's been close to 100 before, right?
Oh,
Jared Jones?
Yeah, he's thrown a lot this spring, and when you're a two-way player, that's one of the natural drawbacks, is you're throwing every day from another position. So I saw him throw 7 innings back in March. Held his velocity very well, was 96 in the 7th inning. So he's thrown a lot of innings this year, and I don't think you're going to see the velocity. We want to see the strikes and the secondary pitches as well.
Yeah, Matt. I mean, that was an amazing play.
Looked like good feet there. I mean, from a scouting grade standpoint, I think we give him a solid above-average feet look.
Well done, Matt.
Good job, Matt.
Well done.
Better make the next play hit to you.
I'm glad we're showing that Padres logo. Boy, the production team here with the San Diego Padres are just so important to Perfect Game, and what a great time to mention the Patience Day show. This is a doubleheader, and then they step right in and help all of us out with this broadcast. A stolen base, more speed being shown.
That was explosive. He jumped out of that lead in his break. Look, watch this. I mean, he's gone. Forget it. I mean, he had no chance. Slipped on home plate. He slipped on home plate.
He's going to make him step off, fire it over, and he skips it away. Now he'll head on home. And the first run of the game scores. That's the way he plays. The flair on the field, having fun out there. 1-0. The East leads it. Baseball's fun.
You can't score runs, speed kills.
And that's exactly the same thing he did at the National Showcase. He scored. It was a wild throw to first. He came all the way around to score. He forces mistakes on by the defense.
Tell you why, it's a pretty athletic play by Jared Jones, though. Stepped off the rudder, a little flick of the wrist. Probably should have held on to the ball, but it's a pretty athletic play.
Just forcing the issue, Mr. Zabala.
That smile, look at that smile.
Super Mario, that's what I call him.
That's a good call, Dave. Another guy, the resume, you're just pulling him out tonight.
He's got some good ones.
I'm going to steal that resume one, by the way.
Danny, you're with Mario. Go.
Hey, Mario, my friend, on the bases, unbelievable. What's going through your head right now?
It's unbelievable. Make things happen. It was unbelievable experience. Like the picture, I thought like he was taking too much. The third base was far, and run the base is hard. And the thing is, make the things happen.
You got your team on the board. You gave them the lead. That might be it for your team. What do you have to say about that?
We just come here to win the game, and that's what we're going to do, win the game.
Thank you so much, Mario. Congrats, guys.
Meantime, Jack Bolger with a basic. Great get, Danny. Mario Zabala, that's awesome. But Jack Bolger, that was that loud sound in the background you heard with his base hit.
Mario's a little gassed right now.
I know, it's fun. What a fun time to grab him. Love it. That's authentic, isn't it, down there? Matt Gussetti, welcome to the contest. His first action, the son of Lisa and Tim. Older sister is Kate. And this young man can flat catch. He is committed to go to the University of Florida. Signing day coming up this fall.
A very well-balanced catcher between the defensive aspect of his game and his offensive aspect. He's had a great summer with the bat and a very sound fundamental player. He doesn't have the athleticism of a Romo or a Bolger necessarily behind the plate, but he's so fundamentally sound.
Boy, he hit it hard. It's bobbled, if only for a moment, out there at third. Long throw across the diamond. Drew Bowser, the home run challenge champion. Oh my goodness, was that fun. Mario Zabala, or as D calls him, Super Mario.
Welcome back to Petco Park. I'm with Drew Bowser, home run derby champion. Drew, did you save any home runs for your at-bat here?
We'll see. I'm just trying to get a hit and let my team win.
You saw that the East team got on the board. What are you going to do with your approach? Victor Medeiros on the mound. What are you going to do at the plate?
Just got to be on time, get some base runners, and get the rally going.
Awesome. Thank you, Drew.
Thank you.
Yeah, Danny, good stuff. Excited to see Drew Bowser lead things off, number 32 on that West squad with that jersey. This is a big arm he's facing, though. Jogging on out to the mound. Medeiros didn't have a catcher there right away. He's out of Miami, Florida. Monsignor Edward Pace, this right-handed pitcher who lived 91 to 96 miles an hour at Perfect Games National Showcase.
Yeah, he's a big-bodied young man, another pitcher who was throwing 90 when he was 14 years old and has always been big and physical. He's really advanced over the last 3 years as a pitcher, improving the breaking ball, improving the strikes, and National was the best I think he's ever thrown. It was a heavy fastball, it was down in the zone, and it was very consistent.
So Drew Bowser to lead it off. By the way, Bowser, the largest fundraiser for the Rady Children's Hospital. The efforts that all of the gentlemen did great, up above $85,000, but Bowser on his own raised $15,000 for the fight against pediatric cancer, as that fastball is 94 over the inside corner to Drew. Visit perfectgamecares.org to find out more about the efforts in the communities, all the communities, as they continue to grow, serving the underserved. Breaking ball, ready for it, drilled deep left field, toward the wall it goes, off that wall, nearly out of here. Bowser hustling on around into second with the double.
Well, he told Danny that he didn't know whether he had a home run, he just wanted to make contact, but that was some serious contact. That's just such a nice, short, quick swing. 6'3", 205, he's a big kid, but that swing was so short.
He's really shown up well down here. He's really gotten the head out. He's had incredibly good balance at the plate. He's coming off of really good area codes. It's been a good week for him.
He picked on a breaking ball like he knew it was coming. Slade Wilkes goes to work right behind him. Wilkes struck out back in the first inning. That breaking ball up. 1-0 the count to Slade out of Columbia, Mississippi. Slade good in the classroom, really good in the classroom, a 4.0 GPA. And because of high school rules in Mississippi, he's been a varsity baseball player since 7th grade.
You want to say that again?
7th grade. Bolt. That's a foul ball. Foul ball is the call. Jesus Miranda, first base umpire.
I got him pretty good.
Let's hope Jesus is okay.
He wants to rub it, but he knows he can't right now. That ball smoked.
Oh, boy.
That ball hit him hard.
But he got the call right.
He did.
Mo Moget, the home plate umpire, takes a little bit of time, takes a walk out to chat with the right-handed pitcher Medeiros and try to respect his fellow umpire out there. DM Turner and Robert Garcia at second and third are the other two umpires out there.
Runner on second, no outs, down a run. Situational at bat.
Doing what they can to keep Bowser close as that one skips away. He reads it but stays put.
Madero's right now, Davis, a little outside his delivery. He's flying a little bit.
Calvin Harris working behind the plate. He's an Iowa native out of Western Dubuque High School in Iowa. Piasta, his hometown. Breaking ball, tries to bring it in, and it stays high. 3-1 the count.
Yeah, he's a young man we've talked about who may end up throwing a slider, I think, at the next level. He's never really developed the consistency to really take that curveball to the next level. It's got a little bit of hump in it. But as a sinker slider guy, if you gave him a nice mid-80s slider, that would be 2 effective pitches, keep it down in the zone, and get some ground balls.
We haven't seen many hitter counts in this game so far. This is one right here.
Holds that bat high away from his body, and a nice job keeping with them on ball 4. He's having to go to work back there, Calvin Harris. He's an Ole Miss commit.
3-1 slider. We went to a 3-1 slider there.
And we talked about the opening of the show. I did about the depth of catching in this class, and we're here in the 5th inning, and I think the catchers, we haven't even noticed them. They've been flawless behind the plate. They've blocked pitches. They're receiving pitches, framing them up well. And you have to remember, not only are these pitchers throwing the mid-90s, very talented pitchers, most of the time these catchers have never seen them before.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, and so they're working with a pitcher that they may have caught in a bullpen this week or something.
And your point, when you don't talk about catching, that means they're doing a really good job.
The #1 player in the state of Wisconsin is A.J. Vukovich. Out of Mugwanago, plays his travel ball for Hitters Baseball, and his high school coach at East Troy is R.J. Fergus. There is quite a bit of size here. 6'5", athletic. You can say the same thing about Mayo. You can say the same thing about Brown and Walker. What a theme. A bunch of forwards, a bunch of small forwards in the NBA playing baseball athletically. Vukovich is one of them as he takes outside.
A lot of breaking balls here.
Yeah, Vukovich is 6'5", but a very talented athlete. He plays all the corner positions. I think he's got a chance to be a corner outfielder at the next level with his athleticism. Probably played more third base than anything, and worked out at first base before the game. So he really is a versatile athlete despite his size.
Well, that's what athleticism allows you to do. They may be playing one position now, but where opportunity presents itself, they've got the ability then to play other positions. Key to the game anymore is you got to hit. The premium defensive player, unless it's an 8, doesn't profile anymore in our game. You got to swing the bat.
The 1-1 to Vukovich, a breaking ball, the best one he's thrown. He has stayed stubborn with that pitch. That one looked like it was dropped down an elevator shaft.
He's got a little Hunter Pence approach to his swing. Pretty violent, very attack mentality, really aggressive out front.
Dan, just keep making comparisons. Your comparisons are always so spot on, in my opinion. I'm just waiting for the next one.
Breaking ball is rolled foul. Vukovich, his sister Morgan, a great college basketball player at Carthage College, small school in Wisconsin. Heck, AJ's a 1,000-point scorer himself on the hardwood. Yeah. Conference Player of the Year last year.
I could see that. You see him post up, calls for the ball. Kind of backs in, little jump step.
He homered in Jupiter, Florida at Perfect Games Big World Wood Bat Association World Championship. Again, playing up a year, he had a home run in that event last year. Fastball, good, sink to it, just got a piece of it. Now that is a nasty pitch.
Especially coming off a breaking ball that he fouled off. Young man behind the plate from Iowa, you just brought it up. You wonder how many plus arms there he's really had a chance to catch so far in his young career. Really good looking kid, exceptional athlete, very good football player, quarterback on his football team.
Again, a change up and a dandy. My goodness,
Yeah,
that one from out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that one. We haven't seen that. It's been fastball, breaking ball.
He's reaching a little bit for that changeup. Watch him reach. See him reach right here? That's just time and experience, just reps.
And one of the things, of course, an Iowa player doesn't get as much as reps are is they still play baseball during the summer. So while some of these guys are out playing at the 16 under
Travel
World
teams,
Championships,
yeah.
travel team ball playing every day, in Iowa, they're still back playing
That's
baseball.
why it's so neat to see a couple kids from Iowa competing in this game and being so talented the way they are. Hopefully more Midwestern kids see this and realize that, hey, I can do this too.
This is Kevin Parada loading up that back leg, the Georgia Tech commit out of Pasadena, California. That one missed inside.
I've seen this young man get a lot of big hits this year.
GBG, his travel team.
Yeah, it seems like this is like when you get in this situation for him, it seems like he's very comfortable. Guys on base, game on the line, got to put the ball and play hard somewhere.
See if he jumps out and looks for one of those breaking balls. He got it, but it missed outside. If you know the name Hunter Green, super prospect, second pick a couple of years ago, working his way back to health in the Reds organization. A couple of years ago, Kevin Parada earned the right to be on his varsity high school team, and in exchange, he got to face the final year of Hunter Green in that league. He said he learned a lot.
Turn him loose, 3-0 right there. Yeah, I'm sure those were interesting matchups.
Yeah, it's
high
a
90s
show
in high school.
Yeah, it's a showcase game effectively. Yes, you're trying to win the game, but of course you're going to swing a 3-0 pitch when you get that fastball.
I agree. Honestly, I agree. I'd turn them all loose on 3-0.
Parada 4.1 in the classroom, has crushed it with regard to his testing. A really good student. And he took that pitch very comfortably.
Yeah.
That's inside ball 4.
You know, Darren, you just made a great point there that I want to jump on a little bit. So many times, and David will tell you this too, sometimes you see something with a hitter just in the take. You know, when a guy takes a pitch on time, with balance, under control, you know that, you know, he's in rhythm with the pitcher and he's seeing the ball really well.
Yeah, because that was, what, an inch or two away from him? And
Yeah.
there was no panic at all.
Not at all.
He saw it clearly. This is an interesting opportunity here for Robert Moore.
He's got to stay short. Got a little long on the first at bat. He battled really, really hard against tough matchup. Needs to stay real short right here. Just trying to look for hard contact.
Some of the details on Robert Moore in our player profile.
And we really haven't seen Robert do what he does best on the baseball field, which is play defense. You know, from a scouting perspective, we've always known the defense is there, and for years we've been waiting for the offense to come. And he's gained some good strength in the last couple of years that really plays well into his swing. And of course, he's such a knowledgeable player that plays so much.
Yeah, he's got high baseball IQ.
Yeah.
He's throwing a lot of breaking balls, isn't he, here? I don't think he trusts his fastball right now.
He threw a 1-0 changeup with the bases loaded to get it to 1-1. There's a breaking ball. It has effect. It's 1-2, but you're right. And yet we've seen good fastballs. Heavy, good, light.
Yes, really. David talked about it when he introduced this young man, the evolution of a pitcher. I mean, he's really pitching right now more than throwing.
Those feet close together for Robert Moore in the middle of the box as he takes another off-speed pitch in. Robert Moore at Jupiter last year in the World Wood Bat Association World Championship, again playing up a year, was 8 for 11 with the walk.
That's pretty good.
8 for 11.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
The best 80 teams, really the best amateur tournament in the world. Outside, 3-2. Arkansas commit. Bowser's at third. Wilkes right behind him.
Wouldn't be surprised, David, if he drops in a off-speed pitch here on 3-2. Again, he seems much more comfortable throwing it.
Trying to add things on for the West squad.
23 pitches right now. He's getting a little danger zone here. 12 balls, 11 strikes.
A lot of room in right center field. The 3-2 breaking ball inside. You called it. It's ball 4. And another chance to trot on home and get together right back in there. 1-1 is the score.
Really good take right there in Roberts Park. He showed him a lot of off-speed pitches early in the count, though, so he saw those pitches well. Yeah.
Danny with a little bit more on Robert Moore. D?
Yeah, guys. Obviously, you know his dad Dayton scouting, a lot of hours being pulled from him growing up when Robert was playing. So it was his mom who was the one putting balls on the tee, helping him develop his game, taking him to practices. So I just wanted to give a shout out to all the moms out there, especially Robert Moore's, who helped him get to this point today.
No doubt, Danny.
Good stuff.
The moms wear it, man. No doubt. And
Good
usually
stuff.
with multiple other kids at home with other activities going on at the same point in time. So all these young men, really, the driving force and keeping their lives connected together has been their mothers.
Marianne is mom for Robert Moore. Michael Brown, home run power for sure as that breaking ball is high. As we told you earlier, he homered at Perfect Games National Showcase, 1 of 2. He recently committed, David. He was one of those guys who was still available. He's committed to go to Washington.
Outstanding. Washington is really growing that program in the last couple of years. And it will be exciting to see him play in the college level if he gets to the college level.
Great facility there, too. Great city.
You can't do much better than heading up to Seattle.
That's the best fastball for me he has thrown the entire inning. You know, it had good life to it, late on the plate. Trying to get a ground ball here, and that was a pitch to get a ground ball with.
He might have taken his bat away. It had that sound.
Oh, he didn't like breaking.
No.
That's one of the new pieces of lumber that Rawlings have given these kids. I mean, they don't want to break their bats.
Yeah, that is one of those beautiful bats, a couple provided by Rawlings.
They want to leave with those pearls, those bats. Good pitch, though. Got right in on his hands. Ran a fastball away and came back with a really good pitch on his hands.
Rawlings has been spectacular throughout this event. These guys with a chance to design a glove, which they will find sometime completed in the fall, just like the big leaguers do heading into spring training. Michael Brown at home. His mom is Florence, and she's an RN. His dad is Michael. His dad's 6'7", and you look at the younger Michael, his 6'5". Dad, by the way, had a long journey in the minor leagues, nearly a decade in the minor leagues for the Pirates, almost 700 professional games. And just kept grinding and actually turned into a left-handed pitcher after being a position player for so long. Dad loved the game, stayed around as long as he could.
You play that many games, you do love the game.
Right? Yeah, it's hard if you're working in A and AA and even in AAA. Take care of your family, a lot of commercial flights. Over the top of that one. And a big strikeout. Down he goes. Again, when he believes in his fastball, it's one worth believing in.
Yeah, and Michael Brown would be you would never want to hang a breaking ball, but he's the kind of hitter with his length and power. If you do hang a breaking ball too, it's going to be dangerous. And that's just a great baseball pitch right there.
Yeah, it's great life.
Location, the life.
He broke one of the two. I didn't know which one it was.
Milan Tolentino rolls that one toward the right side on a backhand walker. Madero's covering out front of the bag, and a fine play.
That's a nice play right there.
Nice play by a third baseman playing first base.
The key, this play happens.
Good break right there. He's running hard to the bag.
And he turns it into an out. Danny Wexelman, Dan O'Dowd, David Ronsley, Darren Sutton, and you. Glad to have you with us and an opportunity to continue to introduce the finest high school players in the land heading into their senior year in high school. Yohandy Morales to lead things off. Morales goes to work against Ronan Kopp, a talented left-hander whose high school coach is Tim Salmon at Scottsdale Christian Academy. That Tim Salmon, and this is the first year he'll physically go to school. He's been homeschooled to this point. And he is a fast riser.
Yeah, I saw him at the showcase, national showcase in Phoenix. I was really impressed by him, David. It's just it's a kind of an awkwardness, at bat against this kid.
Oh yeah, there's arms and legs going every which way. You know, scouts have compared him a little bit to Matt Liberatore, who's a similar body, but Liberatore was so smooth in all his actions.
He's a little bit more herky-jerky.
Yeah, and a very good athlete. He was the Arizona High School Player of the Year. Hit over 500 at bat, and of course, you know, went undefeated and dominated on the mound.
Yeah, they didn't lose much with Tim Salmon as their head coach. A smaller school at Scottsdale Christian. Melody is mom, Thomas is dad. Rocket shot foul off the bat of Morales.
Yeah, Yanni wasn't thinking about a walk right there. This young man really he likes to hit.
Exit velocity over 100 out there on the board.
Yeah, he generates a lot out front.
Wanted time, then changed his mind, and a high pop left side. I'm not quite sure how he even got his hands in to make contact with that.
Yeah, that's ball 4 right there.
Wow.
Both of them have been.
He's just committed to swinging at this point.
Ball was up and in. That's a hard pitch to get to, David, right there, man.
Exit velocity of 100 miles an hour at the National Showcase. Got him with a fastball away, 91 miles an hour. He hides it well, too.
Yeah, and that was a good example of saving your best fastball for the count. He'd thrown a slider the pitch before. You saw Morales get tied up, and he came back with his best fastball after he'd slowed the bat down.
Jake DeLeo, when the summer started, was below the 100 mark with regard to rankings. He has moved himself up to the number 34 spot. He is the fastest riser in this class. He stole someone's spot in this game, David. That's the best way I know to put it. With his efforts, he had a great national showcase. He was on the bubble. Then he went to the 17U WWBA and just went off for a week.
Oh yeah, he showed the athleticism at the national showcase. Ran a 6.38. He's a very strong young man, but he showed he could take those raw tools into the game the next week, and I think had 4 home runs and really dominated that tournament.
Very athletic kid.
Jack O'Dowd is on deck. Dad sitting to my right.
I think the heart rate's going a little fast for him. It's going real fast for me.
Well, I was going to say more for you.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. You're getting cool on me now. Yeah, you know that heart is racing down there.
Not much I can do for him up here. I think you'd rather face a righty than a lefty.
Leo with a bit of a leg kick as he takes over the outside part of the plate. Yeah, that great story is Jake, Tammy his mom, Steven his dad, Frankie's the younger brother. He plays for the Dirtbags program. Goes down and joins them out of Connecticut. Did he go on a breaking ball? He'll hustle. And he reaches on a drop third strike.
East have had some rallies getting going in different ways, haven't they?
Most definitely. That was the old 58-foot curveball that DeLeo was not looking for. I don't think the catcher really had much of a chance to block that at all.
You gave the message to the parents. Now you're officially a parent.
Yep.
He's going to go to work out there. This
Absolutely.
is exciting.
Yeah, it's attack early off a left-hander, son.
He has earned the right to be here. He's a Vanderbilt commit out of Lincecum Academy. Scorpions his travel team. National Honor Society member, great in the classroom, has hovered in the high 3s all the time. He takes a fastball, a little bit off the plate, but got the corner. 0-1 the count.
I guess he didn't take my advice there, huh?
Brother Chris played at Dartmouth, your older son.
Yep.
Successful businessman now.
6 years of minor league baseball.
Lovely wife Jackie.
The glue that keeps the family together. As I was working all the time, she was the one carting everybody around.
Good fastball there.
Yep, threw that one by him.
0-2 the count to Jack O'Dowd. Played every sport when he was younger. Golf, tennis, basketball.
Yeah, exceptional tennis player.
When did he fall in love with baseball?
As soon as he was born. He used to wait up for me coming home at night just so I would play like a little game he developed in the living room. He wears out left field because we played wiffle ball in the backyard. The only way he could hit a home run against his brother is to hit the ball to left field because of the short fence. So every one of these kids has a story that's similar. Things that they did.
Spoils a good breaking ball just off the plate outside, hangs in there.
Yeah, Jack's got good eye-hand coordination. As David knows, his strength has got to be gap to gap, stay on the ball, use the entire field. He's best when he stays up the middle. That was a ball. He's he's fighting for his life now in 0-2 count.
You bet. Tough to take that one for sure. Breaking ball went after it. It was hung up in the zone, high pop to the right side.
He got a pitch to hit there and missed it.
There will be another at bat and another opportunity, but that was unique for all of us. Jordan Thompson, San Diego native, puts that one away. Second out of the inning.
But again, every young man, has a story that makes them who they are. This kid's a good athlete right here, David.
Yeah, very, very strong athlete. He's a two-way guy, a running back who's planning on playing both sports at South Carolina. He's had a great summer with the bat. He's so athletic. That was his reputation coming into this summer, is as an athlete who's playing baseball, and he's had some great events. He's really shown his power well. He'll get a little pull happy at times. He's best when he's working the middle of the field.
Runner was on the move to throw down.
Showed really good instincts in center field too. He's got a strong arm. South Carolina commit, All-American running back, and it's a pretty special athletic package. Leo can really run, guys.
Why not? You get on a drop third strike, show your stuff. Brandon Fields chases up and out of the zone. 2-1 the count to Brandon Fields. Tasha and Frank, mom and dad. And they were both college athletes at Central State, basketball and volleyball. Younger brother Blake. Well, he just snuck a fastball at 89 over the outside corner.
See, he's very deceptive from a hitting standpoint. Jack faced this young man in the event in Phoenix and told me in the car he's really difficult to pick up, and you can see that.
You can see a lot of late reactions, a lot of strikes being taken. That one is outside and off the plate.
You guys have done a really good job, David, this year. I mean, you've certainly picked a lot of kids that have good arms, but we're seeing such a uniquely different style of pitching this year. I mean, guys that, really understand the art of pitching, changing speeds, working the strike zone, deception in deliveries.
Got a chase up and out of the zone. Ronan Kopp shows himself. Tim Salmon certainly proud of that. Getting ready to go back to school in Arizona. I think they may start now. Glad to have you back by the Mission and by the water. Southern California, San Diego, California. Chase Davis drives one toward the wall in right center field. Hangs up long enough, though, to land in the glove of center fielder Zach Veen. Chase Davis out of the Sacramento area leaned on the first pitch that was brought home by a young man out of Chicago. This is Ben Hernandez. He's an Illinois-Chicago commit. Top-tier Chicago, his travel team, and an 8-time All-Perfect Game Tournament team member.
And Dan, to build on what we were talking about at the end of last inning with these pitchers who aren't necessarily mid-90s guys, Hernandez would be one of those. He throws hard enough. He's 90, 93. He's gained about 10 miles an hour in the last 2 years. But one of the major reasons he's on this team is he may have the best changeup in this class. And when you're picking pitchers, you want to see guys who have the best command, guys who have got the best curveball. This may be the best changeup in the 2020 class.
Great. And it shows every young man out there is that, again, you don't have to throw in the mid-90s to be recognized for your ability. You can be someone that really commands what they do exceptionally well and works off of that and turns that into something special like this young man has.
Yeah, he just broke a bat of Tyler Soderstrom.
And scouts recognize that. you know.
Soderstrom loses that bat. A young man out of Turlock, California. Good basketball player, really good basketball player, Soderstrom as well.
He's going to have to slow it down here, Darren. He's got 3 pitches and 2 outs. It's going to be a quick outing if this keeps up.
We're not going to see the changeup if he keeps
how
doesn't keep throwing
though.
first pitch fastball strikes.
Daniel Susak, his first opportunity to play in this game as that slider stays high. You know Andrew, who has played in the big leagues for quite some time, was a big member of the Giants when they won a World Series back in 2014. He, like his brother, is committed to go to Oregon State as he takes a sinking fastball in the black.
This kid's really got some power, David.
Yeah, very, very strong player. Much like his brother was at the same age. His brother was a power catcher who's really developed as a defensive player. But so similar players. They have a young cousin who's a 2021 who's been up to 94 miles an hour. So the baseball genes are strong in that family.
Family tradition right there.
Yeah, his cousin is Anthony, and his cousin is a really good one, David, as you were talking about. As that one skips to the backstop.
Back-to-back changeups there. He's holding on to it a little too long right now.
Ben talks about how close he is with his dad David and his mom Joanne, but mom gets a few extra stripes because she used to catch his bullpens. Mom used to go ahead and take that catcher's mitt up until his early teens and catch for him. And he's got an affinity for mom for that reason. Mom does not catch anymore. The light toss. She'll go with the light toss, but I love that story when he shared it with us.
That's great, absolutely. That's a mom. That's a mom all in right there.
And he's Hernandez, a young man who's very strong in his faith and open about it. Wants to talk about how much his faith has meant to him.
Love that too.
Boy, David, there is a lot of life on everything he throws. He's almost tough to catch. This is a young man we're excited to introduce, Jordan Thompson. He's out of Helix High School, Chula Vista, California. So he's one of our hosts. He's a local product, a very athletic middle infielder.
I've really liked what I've seen out of Jordan's bat this week. He's not the most physical kid on this team by any stretch. 6 foot, 160 pounds. Wiry middle infielder build. But he knows what to do with the barrel. It gets out in the zone quick, and he's really had some surprising jump off the barrel for someone his size. It's a quick twitch athlete.
He's an LSU commit.
That one I'm curious about. You usually don't see many kids from this part of the country with all the great programs out here on the West Coast end up in that part of the country. So there's got to be some connection.
So here's the deal. He was in a perfect game event, a 15U event. LSU eyes were on him, and he had some of the best couple of days of his life. And they said, we like what we see. We haven't seen you in person, but let's at least get to know you. They invited him for a visit. It was at a 15U perfect game event, so that's why he took the trip across country to Atlanta. There were LSU eyes on him. He performed for an extended week or so and got the offer.
And again, and for everybody that's watching the game tonight, it's child's in a position where they haven't been committed to yet. That's the process that happens. There's the changeup.
Yeah, we saw two excellent changeups there to Thompson.
Oh, it is a good one. That is a tip of the cap to a pitch like that. That's a tip of the cap to his longtime bullpen catcher, Mom Joanne. Diamond Kinetics game summary, the perfect game All-American Classic. O'Dowd, Ronsley, and Sutton up here. Wexelman down inside of the dugout, and you hanging out with us wherever you may be. We're glad to have you with us as we move along in this 1-1 game to the 7th inning. And Zach Veen gets an opportunity now to swing the bat, and he does so against Carter Baumler. Perfect game. A company that was founded in Iowa. They have proud Iowa roots. Carter Baumler, he too was founded in Iowa. Grimes, Iowa, the right-hander, number 9 on that jersey. And a sharp breaking ball dives down and in. 1-0 the count to Veen. Richard is dad, Christine is mom.
In Baumler, you're seeing one of the more athletic pitchers in this game. He's a two-sport athlete with D1 offers as a kicker. In football, he's a very good position player. Through 98 from the outfield in the National Showcase, swings the bat very well. But the future's clearly on the mound. And for a young man who's from Iowa, hasn't played as much of the travel ball like we were talking about this summer, he has a very good feel for spinning the ball. He can manipulate the break,
first pitch,
and create spin and manipulate break, take off, add on with maturity.
He spun a good breaking ball for a first pitch strike.
Zach Veen had a great fall in 2018 as he takes up and out of the zone and earns a walk. As a matter of fact, the underclass event, the World Wood Bat Association World Championship, Veen was the MVP of that event. He pitched well and he hit well. This time he earns the walk, and he gives way to our third look at Blaze Jordan, the #2 player in the nation, and was the #1 not too long ago at the 21 class.
Blaze going to hit a rocket here, boys. He's not going to go through the game without squaring something up. Not sure it's going to get a hit, but he's going to hit something hard.
Good fastball, challenged him 91, just a little bit of dive at the last moment.
Yeah. Good swing, good fastball. Mano-mano confrontation right here. I would say after that swing, Dave, we got a pretty good chance seeing that good breaking ball.
They play him to pull, a lot of room in right center field for Blaze. Runner takes off. There is that breaking ball. It skips away, and so an easy chance to move up there for Veen.
Got a little David Dahl on Mr. Veen out there, David. He's kind of long and lanky like David was at that age. Really good skill set, runs well, got really good projectable power. Body's going to fill.
Yeah, you discouraged me from my starting Kit Bellinger Yelich type comparison. Yeah, and that's one I've been using so far. Not to say that that he is that type of prospect I expect him to, but when you see those long lean lefty hitters with that smooth lifting swing, that's two of the best players in baseball right now.
2-2 the count to the legend in these parts anyway, Blaze Jordan.
Threw that ball by him.
Yeah, that's one Blake wants another cut at.
Yeah, got a little big there. A little rotational.
Jordan Walker waiting his opportunity on deck. Baumler athletic as he deals with the runner. He blew a fastball right by him. And again, it either had that good jump, the spin rate out of the zone, or life down. There was movement on everything.
His third strikeout today. Yeah, wow, that ball really took off, Darren. Good call on your part. That ball had some really good late life on it.
Yeah, those advanced metrics will tell you as much. The TrackMan data, I'm guessing, just guessing, would tell you that. Here's Jordan Walker again. The Duke commit. Runner heading to third, scampering with a little bit of a late slide. And
great play.
To save that. That's Kevin Sim. That's another local product.
Great play by Kevin right there. That's a run right there. That's a really difficult pick on the move. He's making the move, skids the throw, and he's still moving while he's making that pick. That was extremely athletic. That's a run right there. Good read on Zach's too, Zach Veen's part.
Well, and he was a ballerina over that bag with regard to having light feet, because he also could have rolled his ankle pretty badly.
Oh, that was good.
This is athletic here.
Look at this. Look at this pick. Wow.
Good fastball, elevated again.
Yeah. That kryptonite, we keep talking about it. Those fastballs up. They look good out of the hand, but they're not good out of the hand.
But what's Baumler thrown now? Like 4 or 5 swing and misses on his
right
fastball already after 3 hitters?
Good hitters, too.
Again, 2-2 the count to Walker.
That was 93, too. So, very impressive young man on the mound. Very good composure, good delivery. Yeah, he's got an old-fashioned little drop and drive in his delivery.
That one sails high up out of the zone. Carter's mom is Mary Lynn. Dad is Brad. He played some college football. Pops did at Northern Iowa. He was a heck of a linebacker. And Carter's a great student. Presidential high honor roll. David talked about his ability to kick the football, and that's just high, ball 4.
Second really good at bat for Mr. Walker. today. Base hit to right, ground out, and worked out a walk.
If you want a piece of draft trivia, not big league baseball trivia, there have been 3 D1 college kickers who have been picked #1 overall in the draft.
Darren
Erstad.
3, huh? Can you give me any hints at all?
One was this year.
Oh.
Adley
Okay.
Rutschman.
Yeah.
The other one nobody ever gets.
Who's that?
Because he went to Cal State Fullerton, which doesn't play football anymore. Phil Nevin.
Wow.
All
I
3.
would have never guessed that one.
Oops.
Well, he takes a tumble on the mound. Baumler does. Runner moves up. You hope he's okay. That's the main thing. And he looks like he just got
Great block. That's a really tough block right there.
just got off balance there. Soderstrom's behind the plate.
Watch the block. I mean, this is really hard right there. Because he's got no perception of where the ball is right now at all. Good athletic slide. Tall catcher, too, who slid very, very well to his open side. Showed good balance. Impressive.
Tyler Soderstrom behind the plate out of Turlock, California, made that block. Really good student, Soderstrom. GPA of about 3.97. He's committed to go to UCLA. We've hopped inside of that meeting there.
I think that was Mr. Romo who made that block there. Darren, that's my bad right there. That's Romo catching. So that was a really good block. You got to see why Romo ranks so highly defensively in his class with that kind of play.
So an opportunity to see Alex Freeland hit. David, PG folks have been watching him for a long, long time. He's local on the west coast of Florida, Mariner High School in Cape Coral, Florida. He's a switch hitter, and he's a pure hitter. And he is someone that has just been around a lot and gotten better every single year. Fastball, and you know, he comes up empty there, but he's played a lot of sports. He's a really talented pure hitter.
Yeah, and I have a nickname for him, Dan, Barrel Man, because he always seems to barrel up the ball.
Man, you got another one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got really good bat-to-ball skills. Good contact hitter, moves well. Very competitive kid, high baseball IQ.
Yeah. And we see these players so much now that you get a sense for other things. He is going to be one of these high walk, high on base guys. He walks, he's very patient.
Not happy there with
Not
that
happy
call.
with that call because he sees the ball so well, and he'll be the guy who'll go out in professional baseball and like lead a league in walks or something like that. That's tough. That's a tough one. It is a rectangular strike zone, but
I think that ball was a little up.
Pitch is high that time. Michael Brooks, Wellington, Florida, Palm Beach Central High School, National Showcase, did some really good things as he fouls it back to the screen.
This kid's a good baseball player, David.
He's an Arkansas commit, gentlemen.
a 14U Festival veteran, so he's been on the stage for a long time. He just had a great high school season this spring in Florida, hit close to 500 with power, and really knows how to hit, a very mature hitter.
Baumler with that elevated fastball stays up there with the big jump at the plate to Michael Brooks. Brooks at Palm Beach Central. Tony Gullo's his head coach. Travel team, Padres scout team. Popped up, back behind the plate. That'll be a souvenir down below. Brooks was on the sideline. Now, he was playing football, but he was on the sideline a couple of seasons ago and happened to have one of those freak injuries as the play came out of bounds, and it cost him baseball time. And instead of hanging his head, and he was frustrated a lot, he just kept working hard, worked on his mental game when he couldn't physically get going. So one of those frustrating injuries. Breaking ball and a good take.
Yeah, Baumler really hasn't been able to get to counts where he's
No,
comfortable
he's
using
used
that breaking
curveball.
ball yet.
Good at bat by Michael.
And
But you're
nice
right.
work back there.
He
blocking
hasn't
it
been
up.
really comfortable getting off a good breaking ball because he hasn't been any of those counts.
Calvin Harris with a chance to hit now, the Iowa native. So So there you go. Souvenir down below. Look at that tiny, I mean tiny little one. We've been excited to watch Calvin hit. We've seen him work as a catcher, Peosta, Iowa, Western Dubuque High School. High fly, ball well struck, hanging up into left center field. And that one is put away. Nice job by Baumler with that rising fastball, electric stuff. Danny Wexelman take it away.
Hey, Carter, you just got out of that jam. Bases loaded with the score, tied. What's your mentality throwing?
Just throw strikes. I mean, just get out of the inning. You know, I trust my fastball, and a lot of the kids, they miss under my fastball, so I trust my fastball to get out of that jam.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys?
That's exactly what we were talking about. The great jump on the fastball, the spin rate rising out of the zone. Action on the base pad. Mario Zabala pushing the effort. And his speed and athleticism has been exciting in Perfect Game showcases. Our G-Form baseball guards play of the game. As he comes on down, you see his G-Form protection there on his elbow. That man out of Puerto Rico, our G-Form play of the game. It's time to get a look at Alejandro Rosario. We talked about Blaze Jordan, who's now at first base, reclassifying. And earlier, moving into the draft, that's exactly what this man on the mound is doing. He's a little bit older than Blaze, but he made the decision to reclassify. Instead of being a 21, he's now a 20. He'll be eligible to be drafted next year.
And this is a really live arm, and it's power, power, power. He has 3 pitches, a fastball that will easily be in the mid-90s, I think, but both his secondary pitches are mid to upper 80s secondary pitches. It's all about power with Rosario.
Right now, the key for him is can he control his emotions enough to execute a fastball.
Wow, first pitch, 96 miles an hour, right out of the gates. And another one was Sink diving down and in again at 96 miles an hour to Drew Bowser. Bowser out of Harvard Westlake High School.
So, Dave, this is going to be one of those, here's my fastball, try to hit it.
And what you might see, though, is this power split finger he throws. No, little slider. I haven't seen that pitch before from him. He throws a hard cutter. He throws a really, really nice hard changeup with a split finger grip. That was a new pitch.
Let's listen and watch as he describes what he does on the mound.
For me, my best pitch is my 2-seam. I let it just run off with my middle finger, so it always runs in. Then I throw my splitter, which dies down like a knuckleball. My 4-seamer is a little bit faster and less movement, it's just straight. And my cutter, which it goes the opposite way of the 2-seam, runs out.
So you guys were asking, he figured he would explain what he's doing out there, as now Jace Borfin has a chance to hit.
Yeah, and I think that 82 we saw was the cutter. I think he just slowed his arm a bit and everything, but if he throws one of those 88, 89 later in the game, you see he has the arm speed. He's been up to 97 already. So arm speed is not an issue.
No, it's a quick arm. It's a loose arm, too. That's a good swing right here on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Chase.
Jace is out of Oklahoma City, Westmore High School. Lively fastball, 96 inner half against the perfect student, a 4.0 award winner in Borfin every single year in 17, 18, and 19. Jace Borfin. Midwest Elite travel team, and then moving to the MVP travel team. Guys, this is electric stuff with Rosario.
Yeah, it is. No doubt, Darren. It's really good.
Kind of a lower arm angle,
Kinda,
too.
Yeah.
Who he reminds me of, and this goes back a ways, but Mario Soto, who had so many great years as a fastball changeup guy who very rarely threw a breaking ball.
Look at the movement. A comeback sinker at 97 miles an hour.
Dan, he's throwing a 2-seamer there at 97 miles an hour.
And, you know, there's not a ton of effort either. I mean, that's a really, for that kind of velocity, it's coming out of his hands really easily. It's one of these kids, wow, I haven't seen this young man before. It's pretty special.
Well, he has not been on the scene a ton. Alejandro Rosario, slider to Vukovic.
So that's that cutter you're talking about?
Yeah, and
right
I
there.
think
That's
he's
good.
just, it's great as a slider. He's calling it a cutter. I've seen it harder on video. But that's a nice pitch right there.
Really
just
nice
just
pitch.
the way it
Especially because you
is.
got to start cheating off that fastball to be able to get to it.
Rosario's mom is Patricia, and she does the heavy lifting. It's he and mom. He's a Miami commit. Plays at Miami Christian. Chris Quadra is his head coach. Plays for the Elite Squad travel team. And he's a Select Festival alum. That 14U game. That was it, that little cutter.
That was more what I'm thinking of with the cutter. And this is a more important game from a scout's perspective for Rosario, because he didn't reclassify. He hasn't pitched a lot in this summer in the big scoutable events. And a lot of these national scouts that are sitting behind the plate here are seeing him for the first time. Not that it is important for every player, but
for kids that hadn't been seen a lot.
Yeah, this is the first impression, and it's a very
what tonight does for scouts, as you know, is it puts these kids on follow list for the spring, and where they are on that follow list will determine how many of the different type of scouts get in to see him play.
Rosario, fastball, 97. That one actually jumped at the plate.
I'm thinking I hope we get him to the World Showcase in Florida, which is the last week of January, right before the high school season start, because I would love to get another look at him before the high school season starts.
1-2 breaking ball off the end of the bat. It's down toward the gap in left center field. Hustling on around. Does that play to run? They'll send him on down toward the plate. The relay to the plate. Not in time. And the run slides in. Scores for Bowser. The runner trails all the way to third. He picked on a breaking ball, and Vukovic turns it into an RBI. 2-1.
Yeah, really nice swing there. Stayed back just long enough. He got it off the end of the barrel a bit, but he stayed back, and it was sitting there in the middle of the plate.
He hung this pitch. Yeah, that thing had no spin. Stayed up right in the middle of the barrel.
I think that was the split finger that he's talked about. He just didn't get the fingers over and get that down.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he went to that pitch in that situation, because with a runner on first base, you're trying to execute a pitch to get a ground ball, not a strikeout.
Strike one to Caden Wallace. Wallace wanted time, and he's in the hole 0-1. The Arkansas commit will regroup and go back to work.
That's the pitch you needed to throw there, right there.
If you have a 97-mile-an-hour sinker, shouldn't you throw that
as
as often as
not
possible?
Sure what the thought process was there.
And he hasn't thrown it really much above the knees yet. He's got the lower part of the zone nailed on it.
Skips away. The run will come on down. Vukovic scores. He almost wore the throw back. Blocked up behind home plate. Looks like it's Calvin Harris back there. Almost took out Vukovic without meaning to. 3-1.
Just yanked that one a little bit. Fastball got on him a little quicker than he anticipated.
So a couple of runs score, but he's made his mark with the scouts.
Oh, no doubt.
You need to go ahead and point that out to the casual fan watching this.
I mean, results are important, but scouts that do their job well look well beyond results and look what is involved in the process, so to speak, of the player's performance. And this is an electric arm.
A little raspberry there for Drew Bowser. 95 miles an hour.
Sort of Bowser's reward, so to speak, for being on base so often this game.
Drew's had a good game.
Had a good day, wins the home run challenge, comes back.
Had a good week.
Good stuff in the dugout. I think that's Andrew, our camera operator down there, as that one's outside. And he earns a walk. Unraveling just a little bit now.
He is, yeah.
Frustrated.
Yep, overthrowing a little bit, spinning off. You know, when you have this kind of stuff, you don't have to make perfect pitches. You just got to get the ball in the strike zone. A little bit more consistent and let your stuff take over from there.
Allow me to introduce Cade Horton in his first at bat. Breaking ball to the right side, drives it, it hugs the line. Toward the corner it goes, and that's a foul ball. Good and bad. We would have loved to have watched him run. But the other good part is we get to introduce you to Cade. This is a really, really good all-around athlete. He's an Oklahoma commit, son of Kerry and Mike. Heck of a football player as well, David Ronsley, and did great things at National. He tripled, made a great play at second base. He could touch 95 on the mound. Cade Horton is special.
Yeah, no doubt. He's a dual-threat quarterback going to the University of Oklahoma if he does not go baseball first, and ran for over 1,000 yards, passed for over 2,000, and plays all over the field. But Dan, you've been impressed with something else aside from just his athleticism this week.
Yeah, the bat. I mean, the bat is pretty special. I mean, he really, really flies through the zone. He's a very balanced hitter.
There's that cut fastball.
The other thing to mention on guys that are two-sport athletes, I mean, athletically it helps you develop so much, especially in a team sport like football. But from a baseball perspective, you know, this kid really hasn't probably had anywhere near the same reps as somebody else that's playing solely baseball. So there's projection left in him.
To the right side, beautiful piece of hitting on an 0-2 count. Looked like an off-speed pitch, and Horton stayed back, let his hands drive it to the right side.
He didn't throw one fastball that entire count.
No, he didn't. And that's that split finger. You can tell by the spin there, and he's just not getting that hard downer action that he's probably used to getting.
Well, I don't know if he's shaking the catcher here either. I mean, again, there's a situation where ultimately you're trying to get a ground ball. And he's constantly going for pitches that, you know, for me equate to a strikeout when you have electric stuff that's got life down in the zone. So it's a case where these two have never worked together at all.
Well, that lead foot, that leg kick, the foot set down, and then he waited forever. Daniel Susak, an uncomfortable swing at a great fastball.
That's a big league pitch right there. I mean,
that's what makes the game so maddening, isn't it? So beautiful and so maddening at the same time.
As we told you earlier, Daniel, like his brother Andrew, who went to Oregon State, is an Oregon State commit. He too is a great football player. Boy, at National, he threw 87 from the crouch. Rocket shot, base hit right field for Susak. And another run added on for the West squad. Boy, a couple of really pretty pieces of hitting.
Absolutely.
That time, that was a fastball he hit.
Yep, stayed right inside that ball. Great piece of hitting. West squad is beating up on this East squad. What? How many? A lot over the last few years.
we did get to see a very strong throw from Brandon Fields, who we talked before about his arm. At the end of that play, runner held at second, but it was an outstanding throw to third base from the right fielder.
Give us a chance to tell you about this coaching staff and these great travel ball and high school coaches. Adam Mosley of Hoover High School, that's who came out to visit there. Luis Lorenzana, a local San Diego coach at East Lake High School. Manny Hermosillo, legendary coach, Montgomery High School in San Diego. Tim Lowry, another legend out of Powhatan High School in Virginia. And Lloyd Thompson in that dugout over there as well. The home plate travel ball team. Lloyd, one of the best batting practice pitchers in the world.
He's a machine. He can throw it wherever he wants to, too, and that's an art.
This is a great moment. This is another local product. Kevin Sim with the chance to hit. Sim rolls that one up the third base line, quick to the bag. Long throw across the diamond.
Nice play.
We'll take a time to tell you about Sim throughout the rest of this ball game. We've got a couple of innings to do so. A local product with a great history. They're making history, this West squad. It's 4-1. It's time to play Guess the PG All-American, a man now who is in the big leagues, but in the Perfect Game All-American Classic in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. He destroyed this baseball. I mean, crushed it out to right field. So, You got a guess?
David, you got this one, buddy.
Oh, that's Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo, who is taking that power to the big leagues. The amazing thing is he's starting in center field for the Rangers.
That's why we can't get too hung up on positional, where somebody's going to profile position-wise, because so much changes along the way.
That ball is 442
That's hard
feet.
to hit here. East has got a stage. You got to crawl back in this thing with a couple runs this inning.
Starts right now with Matt Gassetti as the first pitch skips in there. This is George Clausen. This is another fast-moving arm who has really gotten up the ranks quickly. He was up to 95 at the World Wood Bat Association, the 17U WWBA. Clausen, some kind of specialist, moving quickly. Port Washington, which is about 29 miles from Miller Park. He's a huge Brewers fan.
Yeah, this might be, over the last 12 months, the most improved pitcher in this game. 12 months ago, you can see there's a lot of funk in that delivery, and he just wasn't strong enough and coordinated enough to keep it together. And he's gotten stronger. He's gotten some good coaching, and he really hasn't had trouble throwing strikes at all this summer.
Rolls that one out to the left side, fired on across the diamond. Cade Horton is the shortstop. Right next to Cade is Kevin Sim. We told you he's a local product out of Torrey Pines High School, San Diego, California. Danny Wexelman down below has a little bit more on this great story of a young man who at 9 moved from South Korea.
Darren, thank you so much. I'm with Kevin's father, Chong. Chong, thank you so much for hanging out with me right now. You have your son playing right now in Petco Park. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. It means a lot. As you guys know, we've been here like only 8 to 9 years. We're from South Korea. So, and he been work hard since he was 9 and 10, as he dreaming about playing in this field. So it means a lot.
You also have an illustrious career, 15 years in the Korean Baseball League, more than 300 home runs. The nickname Hercules. Are you proud of that nickname?
Yeah, I'm proud of that. One of the reporters made that nickname for me when I was 19. At that time, I was lifting weight a lot, and then had a pretty big muscle. And then the reporter made a nickname for me. I like it a lot.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on your son.
All right, thank you so much.
Guys, back to you.
Hercules. I love that nickname. Chong Soo Shim. Song Soon Hong is mom. That's Kevin. I love that nickname. Who's with me? Come on.
I love that
Hercules.
nickname. I love that nickname.
Perfect.
That one is fouled off at home plate. Who was Pocket Hercules? Jay Payton, I believe. Played in the big leagues for a while.
Yeah, played for me in Colorado.
Pocket Hercules. I think he was about, what, 5'1"? No, I'm a little shy there. He was strong, though.
Oh, he was. About 5'10", but
okay.
he was really put together.
Sorry, Jay. I was just kidding.
Yeah, Jay.
I apologize.
Jay, you know I didn't say that.
I
Darren
apologize,
said that.
Jay. No, that's great. And congratulations to Kevin Sim for earning his way. By the way, his high school coach is Kirk McCaskill, if you remember the right-handed pitcher, Angels or White
Sure.
Sox. And that's his high school coach.
Good slider, good changeup.
That's a coveted autograph these days, David.
It is. It will probably continue to be. It's always nice to see the young players getting the chance to sign autographs, maybe for the first time. This has been a very impressive performance.
Yeah.
First 2 hitters for Clausen.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Really
shown
good arm,
3
very
pitches.
athletic.
I hadn't seen that quality changeup before that he's been throwing. A lot of life on the fastball and a tight curveball.
You mentioned athleticism. He is a state-level 110-meter high hurdles
Yeah, I
runner
can see
as
that.
well.
He's got that kind of body.
Got that high waist.
Yep.
Clausen sails that one high. When I say he loves the Brewers, he loves them Brewers. James is his dad. Got a chance to meet his dad, James. His mom is Lonnie, and he's got some interesting passions with regard to what he may study. He's a Minnesota commit. He switched from Purdue to Minnesota, and he loves acoustics. He loves designing rooms to set for acoustics and events, and taking care of the designs beforehand and then moving forward, something that intrigues him. Here's Jack O'Dowd again.
Ooh.
We watch with Dad.
Took one off the kneecap right there. Little Jack and Diane walk-up song going on right there. He's lost a little bit right now. He's rushing a little bit off the rubber.
Talk to his swing, the evolution of his swing.
Yeah, it's just a handsy swing. You know, he's opened up that way since he was a little kid. Hasn't changed a whole lot in the swing. Like most young players, gets into balance issues at times.
2-1 the count.
It's a ball you got to probably take on a 2-0 count, but
starts with that bat parallel to the ground up over his shoulder before coming set.
yeah, he's got to keep it going a little bit more. Can't get stuck.
2-1 the count, facing George Clausen. High fly ball, well struck center field. First step the right one for Pete Crow Armstrong. Not a bad,
Yeah,
not a bad swing there, right there, Dad.
Very good swing. Yep.
They're carving the plate, fastball, 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 and we're trying to catch up, but we'll do a better job and get some hits and get some runs.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Will Sanders goes to work. And David, as he does, there were a handful of athletes that, because of high school rules in Tennessee and some last-minute injuries, you wanted to quickly mention before we go to work, who haven't been able to take part in tonight's game.
Yeah, we have 4 players, Darren, that will not be taking part. They've been here all week and involved in the activities, but from Tennessee, we have Robert Hassel III from Independence High School and Ryan Hagenow, a very successful right-handed pitcher who threw in our scrimmage. And then we have 2 players who are injured. Nolan McLean from Virginia, who's a big power pitching right-hander, who's also a high-level quarterback. And then the fastest player in the class, Jake Vogel, here from Huntington Beach High School, who is dinged up and hasn't been able to play this week. And we want to recognize all those guys because even though they can't play in the game, they are definitely perfect game All-Americans.
Yeah, that's great, David, and they're part of the best 55 group in the country. Vogel, by the way, Huntington Beach High School, Benji Maduri is head coach, ran a 6.1560. That's right. Ran a 6.1560 at Perfect Games National Showcase. Will Sanders, there is a lot of Will Sanders out there, about 6 feet 6 inches tall, as he deals with Chase Davis out of the Sacramento area, Franklin High School. Sanders kind of a high 3/4. There's some good tilt on it. When it does tilt and dive, it moves. Funky.
Yeah, and the thing to remember about Sanders is that you're not seeing the finished product here. When he entered high school, he was 5'11", 125 pounds, and was throwing in the low 70s. And he's obviously really shot up. He's developed some strength, but look at that body. There's so much more to go on that.
You know, for a tall guy, the first thing I look at is deliveries, and that delivery's good. He's got balance, rhythm. He had good timing out front. I mean, look at this. Separation was good.
Guys, was that a changeup or a fastball?
That was a fastball.
But
My
Darren,
goodness.
you're right. Didn't it have changeup action to it?
When did Brandon Webb get here? I mean, that was a 1.5 foot of dive.
Good call right there. You pulled the Brandon Webb out of the archives, huh?
87
Blast for the
with
pass
sink
for
like
you.
that. Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's heavy and no fun. Tyler Soderstrom goes after an elevated fastball.
David, you're right. There's so much projection here left
Oof.
with this young man.
Yeah. And the thing is, you're talking about delivery and the difficulty tall athletes, especially once they're still growing, keeping their deliveries together and the coordination. He may be the best strike thrower. His record is as maybe the best strike thrower in this class. He fills up the zone. Nothing is straight at all.
You guys couldn't do it. We saw you down there, Savino. You couldn't do the tough guy face.
And that's hard to do when you're this, he hasn't even come close to growing into his strength yet. And he's tall. So the fact that he's throwing strike, the fact is he's got then a repeatable delivery.
Guys, he's East Cobb Astros. That's who he plays for. David, you knew that. He's out of Atlanta, Georgia, Will Sanders. Rebecca is his mom, and Rich is dad. And there's a verbal commitment to South Carolina. That's a great nugget you gave, Dave. Pete Crow Armstrong, a high pop-up. Had him out front. Now, that was an off-speed pitch. And a very, very clean inning for Will Sanders. Fun to see him work. Pitcher number 8 for the East squad. And that is solid. Future's bright for Will. It's a really fun game. There's Carlos Correa. To the right side. It's down for a base hit. We'll see Correa at the plate in a moment. But who's that? We're playing Guess the Perfect Game Alumni. Guess the Perfect Game Alumni. It's the fastest growing game. That alumni's out there at third. There's Correa hitting. Swinging and a miss that time. He's coming home. Who is that man stealing home? Perfect Game All-American Classic alumni. David, would you like to take a guess?
I can. I don't think he's going to be stealing home in any games this year. He might be throwing some touchdown passes, and that would be Jameis Winston.
Wow.
Well, that's a trick question right there.
David, that's outstanding. I got a gray Perfect Game polo for your prize. Well done. Here's Brandon Fields, and Brandon Fields is getting to know Minnesota out of Savage, Minnesota, Max Carlson. That one high and tight. Got his hands.
Get a leadoff guy on. Here we go, ninth inning.
4-1 game. Fields is on.
I want to see the perfect game extra inning rule. I'm rooting for a tie game here.
There are rules.
I know.
We'll show them when it's appropriate.
Fastball ran in.
Zach Veen says, I'll take this opportunity. Johnny Goodrich is his high school coach at Spruce Creek High School.
Orlando Scorpions, one of the better travel ball teams in the country. Mr. Matt Gerber. I asked for him, I get him. Look at this. You guys are pretty good in the truck, if anybody hadn't told you that yet.
Bases loaded. That is the ultimate international tiebreak. Last three batters will start on base. Tied after 10. Game declared a tie.
Oh, come on. We gotta go. Come on, East. Let's go. We want to see this.
That is, you want to talk about a massive international tiebreak rule like you see in softball. Change up, throw down. Beautiful throw. Just off the mark.
That's
but
where
corked at a stolen
really,
base.
that's where he impacts the game.
Yeah,
right
that's the outrunning the baseball.
And you're down 3 runs, so you better not get caught stealing. It's a good throw, really good throw.
Tyler Soderstrom behind the plate, uncorking that beautiful throw. Fields, well, that's a great shot. Where in the world is that camera? My
We got
goodness.
somewhere up top.
What a great camera angle.
Got the helicopter floating around up there. Good swing.
Well, he was on it.
He was. Ball was just a little up, little out, little outside.
Monica is mom, Eric is dad, and as David said, his brother Sam, talking about Max Carlson, was a second-round pick a couple of years back, 2017, coming back from an injury now, getting strong with the Mariners organization.
He's a little different style of pitcher than his brother, isn't he?
Oh, most definitely. Sam was a bigger athlete who threw hard, was by draft time throwing in the upper 90s. And Max, who's had just a tremendous summer pitching for Canes baseball, is a 4-pitch guy who just hammers the strike zone, never throws a pitch down the middle. Highly
right
competitive.
There.
Yeah.
I mean, he executed a really good 2-strike pitch right there.
As a hitter, if you've hit against Max Carlson, you might see any pitch right now on 3-2. You're not sitting fastball at all, and you probably won't get one.
This played as David said for the Canes and then for the Minnesota Blizzards travel team. Runner moves to third. Got him at third.
Oh, dropped the ball.
And the ball popped loose, or did it? Not enough. It's snow coned.
No, he dropped the ball. He didn't catch the ball clean. See?
Oh, you're
Ball's up.
exactly right. Yep, there you go.
Just ask the home plate umpire here.
Yeah, they'll have a quick conversation about it.
Yeah, take your time, get it right. Just want to make sure the play is right.
Mo Moget will
Just
come
not
in and
sure
talk
what
with.
Mr. Fields trying to steal third for, down 3 runs.
I agree. I agree.
You know, we got the fact he runs well.
There you go. Mo saw it from his angle.
Good job. Way to take control. Good job by the third base umpire to ask for help.
Yeah, these are all the umpires who umpire this game are all veteran perfect game umpires, And we have a Perfect Game Umpires Association that trains umpires around the country. This is the cream of the crop. This is a reward, just like it is
so
for
they
the players.
earn the right to be able to.
They've earned the right through working Perfect Game events to be there.
Good to know that.
And Glenn Carnes, who's the head of our Umpire Association, really preaches get it right.
Well, they've done a great job tonight.
Big opportunity for Alex Freeland. Boy, look at the sink on that fastball.
Alex hasn't been happy with some of the strike calls at the plate on him. I happen to agree.
Oh, it's lively. And you talked about how he stubbornly works off the plate. Out there again, strike 2. That had a lot more hair on it. I mean, so it's sinker, and then it's good firm fastball
that
away.
was. Ball had really good late carry on it.
No balls and 2 strikes to count to Freeland.
Yeah, David, that's perfect execution.
That's the four seam right there.
That's really good.
We see a inside half pitch, set him up for a 1-2 or.
Bouncing ball to the right side. Surrounding it, fielding and firing is Horton, the second baseman. A run scores. It's 4-2.
Good straight change right there. Good job by Alex to put the ball in play, get a run home, but that's a really good. So he runs a fastball up and away, and then he runs that changeup down and in. Look where this changeup is. The changeup went away. That's really good pitch.
You see May 0-2 changeups?
Not at all. Especially with that kind of late life to it, too. That shows you how comfortable he is throwing it in that situation. Trying to get Blaze Jordan up here with the chance to tie the game up. Come on, Mr. Walker. Oh, then he broke out the curveball right there. So we're seeing everything, the whole bag of tricks. Another kid, again, like all the pitchers tonight, you've seen really, really good deliveries.
To the right side, Walker does keep it alive.
That ball almost skipped
Oh,
on
my
him.
goodness.
He's had 3 quality at-bats.
You bet.
Tonight.
That's 2 singles and a walk.
Yeah.
Jordan Walker
2 singles
really
to right
showing
field,
his stuff.
He's showing elite hitting ability right now.
So Blaze Jordan with one more chance. His 4th at bat of the night, the number 2 ranked player in the land, reclassifying to the 20 class, the youngest man out here, and a legendary travel ball high school player. Right at him, strike 1.
He's had 3 strikeouts tonight, so he's either in that on-deck circle on Jordan, hope you're going to get a hit, or Jordan, I'm not sure. Come on, Blaze.
One and one, the count to Blaze Jordan.
This is where that changeup might be a really nice pitch to throw.
It's been late all night on the fastball, though.
1 out away, 1 out away. Painting, just painting. 1 and 2 the count. Max Carlson, fun to watch you work, young man.
This guy's really impressive, man. Like they've all been tonight. I mean, again, David, you guys done a great job. These deliveries are good.
Well, he's having fun. That was a great shot of his face, being in the moment in the competition against one of the top hitters in the country. The 1-2 breaking ball sweeps outside to Blaze Jordan.
It's the only one that right now he didn't execute like he wanted to. He wanted to start that on the plate a little bit more.
I hope brother Sam's out there watching somewhere. Maybe Adam Barta, his longtime travel ball coach with the Blizzard before this year. Watching Max Carlson work from Minnesota.
Going away again.
2-2. That'll do it. The West squad victorious. Minnesota locks it down.
The boys are they're dogpiling on the mound here.
Staying on their feet, doing dancing. It's a vertical dog pile, and there's nothing wrong with that. Uh-oh, here comes the E squad to come out and join them in a little dog pile. They've had fun all week long, these guys. The perfect game, All-American Classic, another great celebration. This is great.
He's not very happy there,
Oh,
is he?
no, he's pretty
He's
fired up.
competing.
Baseball player, and I mean this truly, with their smartphone out, capturing their memories that they can have and sharing with their friends out there in the baseball world. That smile, that man right there, we saw him a moment ago, Drew Bowser. He had an incredible night tonight. Was very athletic, running around the base paths. Mario Zabala was fun to watch with what he did.
Yeah, we could talk about the pitchers. The pitching was just great tonight.
Outstanding.
We could go down all 17, I believe we threw in the game. But looking at the Jordan Walkers, the Mario Zabalas, the Bowsers, the players who had the great game, you know, this was a fun game from both sides.
Well, you see everybody's talent really shown tonight. And pitchers' deliveries were great. They threw strikes. The game worked quickly. You know, they played great defense on the field. We saw athleticism. It was a good night for baseball. Good night for all these young men.
Tim Salmon, I tip my cap to you and your man Ronan Kopp out of Arizona. He struck out 3. He was outstanding on the mound. Dax Fulton, he was outstanding out of Oklahoma, and that's an honor to Mom, who's trying to work her way back to health. He struck out 3 in his single inning. A couple of great performances that we don't want to forget. A little bit maybe under the radar, especially that one of Ronan Kopp.
It's like, guys, I'm a little sad right now. You know, it's
and then you, the dad, right?
You know, a little journey of our life. That chapter is now closed, and it's I'm going to miss these days.
Got to be proud of your son down there.
You know what? Thank you, Perfect Game, for making all this possible for every one of these kids and all the families. What a great opportunity you provided to families.
It's been fun to be around these athletes. I know you served your role here as an analyst tonight, but you were one of the parents this week.
I was, yeah, and I'm very, very proud of my son for competing like he did. I'm happy how hard he had to grind to get here, like I am for every one of these players. And the future's bright for so many of these kids as they move forward now in their careers.
David, one of the toughest things for you guys to select were pitchers, and they showed why. This is a very deep class of arms.
Oh, it's a very deep class of arms. And you saw, like we talked about there at one point, you saw a variety of arms. You saw 99-mile-an-hour fastballs. You saw 87-mile-an-hour sinkers. You saw quality changeups. And you saw the deliveries, the ability to throw strikes. That was a constant through the whole game. And it's going to be really fun to watch these guys between now and next June and beyond that.
Let's go down to Danny Wexelman. I'm not sure who she found. Maybe Drew Bowser. Danny, take it away. She's got Trevor Hoffman, too.
Hi, guys. I am here. I've got Trevor Hoffman to present the MVP award to Drew Bowser. Drew. Yo. Oh, sorry. Drew. I want to let you know a couple of things. You were the top fundraiser this weekend for Rady Children's Hospital, more than $15,000. You were the home run derby champion, and you had scored the go-ahead run in this game. Can you sum up this weekend?
It was just a lot of fun. It was a blessing, and I'm just glad to be out here with these guys.
West Coast is best coast once again. Can you tell me how much fun you've had with your team?
I'm honestly kind of sad it's over. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully I can do something like this again someday.
And what about the East Coast coming out to celebrate with you guys? What does that say about the group of guys here at the Perfect Game All-American Classic?
They're just, it's a great group of guys, and, just celebrating together is just a great moment for us.
Drew, congratulations.
Thank you.
Darren?
Good stuff, making Kyle, Dad, Yvette, Mom, and older brother Evan very, very proud. A little slipability here. Danny does a nice job getting out of the way.
Danny's got some quickness right there. Her athleticism was graded out very high right there.
Yeah, she's a high-level middle infielder. Softball. She worked hard, by the way, in the ride to the ballpark not to wrinkle up that dress, so she also wanted to make sure it didn't get ruined. Guys, thank you very much. Dano, Dow, David Ronsley, and Danny Wexelman and our entire MLB Network crew and the Padres crew here at Petco Park in San Diego. I'm Darren Sutton saying so long, and thanks to all of you for watching the 2019 Perfect Game All-American Classic. This event's so much fun. The future is bright. A 20 draft preview now. It's back to school and back to work for these young athletes. Coming up next on MLB Network, a wrap-up of all the day's action on Quick Pitch. Good night from San Diego.